How do you actually win from a drift event?
Okay, that's a good question.
People want sponsorship so bad, but they don't want to do anything to offer the company's name.
People get asphyxiated too on like the free stuff. It's not free, bro.
What is the average cost for a vinyl wrap nowadays?
In New York.
In New York.
I don't understand why people bring their rolls. They buy a roll and then they go, how much to install this?
Who's the best vinyl wrapper in New York? He's gonna back it in? You washing it? Welcome back to another episode of the Street Alpha Podcast. I'm your host, Tukes. We got my guy Josh over here.
What up, what up?
And today we have a special guest. This is our third time recording this, by the way. I just got to be pretty transparent because Josh ruined the first take. And then the second take, I messed up. But we're going to get it right this time. So today's special guest is Calvin from Empire Vinyls.
Yep.
Clap it up for Calvin. Yeah. All right. Now that we finally got that.
That's my
right.
boy.
So brief background of how I that's my boy. How I met Calvin a couple years ago. I was looking for somebody to wrap my Street Hunter wing, and Calvin was referred to me by a friend named Thomas, who has a Supra as well. And I went over to Calvin. I reached out to him, and he denied the job because he said he didn't want to deal with the material that I had on my car, and he said something about warranty or something like that. I'm not really sure what it was, but
I didn't know.
He didn't know. But you may think that it was a negative thing to turn down the job, but for me, it was actually a positive because I was kind of annoyed at the time, but at the end of the day, I respected it because anybody would have just been like, yeah, just to take the job and get the money, obviously. Yep. But you said yourself, you were honest with me. I do respect that. So I know you always bring it up, but I do respect that you didn't take it. Yeah. Even though I feel like you would have did a great job.
I think I would have also, after especially using it after that. Yeah, but like I didn't want to do it and then you have a problem with it later.
Right. So that's fair. So Calvin has continued to wrap vehicles. He definitely wrapped. I didn't even know he wrapped that car.
Yeah, he did. He actually wrapped my...
That looks good, too. I did not know you wrapped that car.
I forgot.
Honestly, I saw it outside.
He was like, oh, yeah, there's a car.
Yeah, he wrapped a couple of my car. He wrapped my Stinger. Well,
you wrapped the Stinger, too?
Is that how I...
Yeah, that's how... That's
bro,
how
I didn't even realize.
Wow. So fake.
You didn't even know you wrapped
this car. I was 8 years old when I realized that.
Yo, that's crazy.
I didn't know that's how I originally met you.
I had a Stinger. Then I had a Supra. And then the 355.
Yeah.
So, wow. Yeah.
This guy wraps a lot of cars.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he didn't
Too many,
even know.
Honestly.
He didn't even know. So we got a lot of topics today. We're going to start with the wrapping because I have a lot of questions for you on that. And we're going to talk about drifting as well. And also some fitment stuff because you had a couple of...
Fitment?
Yeah, viral videos. So, yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So talk to me about... your shop. Like, how long have you had the shop for?
I started, I don't remember the year, honestly. I graduated high school. I went to college for like 2 months and then I dropped out and then I started the company. So probably like 2016, somewhere around there.
2016.
So
that's
however many years it is, 7, 8, something like that.
And you were doing rapping.
I started with a partner. I'm still friends with him till this day. We started, then he ended up wanting to go a different like career path. I kept going. Right. We had a spot at the time where it was like a body shop. We had like one bay. We wrapped cars together, and then pretty much he said he was leaving, and then the guy that we got the spot from was like his friend, so I ended up getting like kicked out. Okay. Found a spot, was working for a bit, then I ended up thinking like, you know what, it's time to get my own shop because I was just like renting from some guy or whatever. got my own shop, and then that was 5 years ago, and here we are today.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. So I always wanted to know, right? So normally at shows, people come up to my car sometimes, or even anywhere, and they'll ask me who wrapped my car. So whenever I hear that, it's either one or the other. It's either, is he asking me because it looks like shit, or is he asking me because it looks good? So normally I always ask why after. I'll tell them who wrapped the car, and I'm like, why are you asking? And then they'll either say, oh, it looks good, or they'll pick at certain things.
Oh, they'll tell you, really?
There's some people have, yeah.
Really?
Some people have. They'll say like, oh, there's too many seams here. Like, all these. I'm not a professional vinyl rapper. I don't rap at all. But what I wanted to know is, why is there so much competition when it comes to? I mean, it's business. I get it, but why does everyone always try to sell that they're the best vinyl rapper?
I think that's actually a really good question. Because that's a question I get asked. I don't get asked that a lot, but like I always see it, you know.
Right.
And I always see people that, like your car, for instance. Let's say if there's certain seams in certain spots, because that's a hard car to wrap. A lot of people don't realize. Like,
Supra is a hard.
It's very
car
hard.
Yeah.
Especially the front bumper with the little parking sensors, the little
it's a
freaking
pain.
weird things. So people always say like, yeah, like I wouldn't have done that or I wouldn't have done this.
Right.
It's the same thing like your wing. If I've never done that material before and I wrap your wing, I can get it done. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
Now, what happens a week, month, whatever, and then starts peeling or whatever the case is, that's because I don't know about it. So, like, if someone's going to do something a safer way in terms of vinyl, they'll do like inlays where you'll see those seams or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Those seams are to pretty much make it safer in terms of like peeling and whatnot.
Okay.
So someone that's a little more risky will pretty much put like heat it up and stretch it in. And in terms of riskiness, that's like, okay, yeah, it looks like it's one piece. It looks like it's painted, but it might peel up because it's too much stretch, you know?
Right.
So some people will go like, oh, I could do that better, which better, quote unquote, would be like, let me stretch it in there and make it look like it's one piece. But sometimes you should be doing those seams because the material can't take it, you know?
So it basically depends on the material.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Installer and material. That's another thing. Like that material, now that I've used it so much, I understand everything that's on your car. Not that it's bad or negative, but like everyone installs differently, you know. So like if you have an inlay in a certain spot that's hard, some people will go like, "Oh, I wouldn't have put that there." But like if you've never used that material, you wouldn't know. Like you can't do that, you know. And if you think that you could, you'd find out that you can't, you know. And then it'd be peeling, and then you'd be that guy that's asking why, you know. And it's like because it's shitty.
A lot of people seem to judge like people who don't know anything about wraps, or they never have their car wraps, they seem to judge certain things. It's like, oh, why does that look like that? Why does it look like that? And this is my first car that I ever had wrapped. And now that I've been through the process of it and, you know, redoing certain parts, I understand why. Yeah. But I'm always forgiving when it comes to wraps, because I always heard before even having the car wrapped that like it looks good from afar, and then when you get close, you start to see things. Yeah. But I mean, unless you're really, really good at it, or it's a good material, then everything looks good when you're close to it.
Yeah, yeah. I think it just really depends on how picky you are. You know, because like I have people where I've seen wrap jobs that are like real bad, and you know I'll never be that person to be like, yo, like what the fuck is this, you know? But you know they don't know what they're looking at because they just don't have that attention to detail, right? You know, where some people that aren't rappers or aren't in the industry in terms of like detailing or anything like that, let's say, where they just have that eye, they're just perfectionists, you know? Right. Specifically women. I don't know why, but every time they like look at a wrap job or whatever, they always can see everything. I've noticed that, especially like even customers. Like, it's crazy. They always like. I think it's just the attention to detail kind of thing. Yeah. But some people don't have it, you know, which is not a bad thing, but it's just they don't know.
I realized that about my girl too, because when you were wrapping my car, she started measuring her fingers and stuff like that. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm trying to like connect it, make sure it's the right measure, whatever. I was like, okay.
See, like that's the thing though. So like your car, it's all knifeless tape, which is, you know, the tape that you lay down, you can, you know, so you don't cut on the paint, and you have to eyeball it. Yeah. Like you could technically measure it out, but for the most part, you have to eyeball it. And same thing I'm saying, like people will sit there and go like, they question me. They'll be like, how do you know that's straight though? And I'm like, it's like, I'm kind of just like going off certain body lines or whatever. Yeah. And people don't understand that, you know, there's like reference points and stuff like that people don't, you know, if you're not in the industry, you don't know. Right. But they pick at stuff like that. And even if they're not rappers, they'll go like, why is there seams? And then they're like, you're not a rapper. You don't know why. Like there's a reason, you know.
Because people literally think that you take a whole roll of wrap, you put it over the whole car, and then you cut out like all the pieces of it in one sheet.
Yeah.
Like if they have no idea, it's like no, it's actually not like just one whole roll over the whole car. Which can you actually wrap a whole car with one roll? Like just literally take the whole roll. Well, no,
and like
can't.
just
I mean. Can't. What about the top
I would
of the
accept
car?
that challenge, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, a specific car. I don't know. Maybe
you probably
this one. Honestly,
that one, right?
Maybe.
Definitely.
I don't know.
How wide are the rolls?
5 feet, 60
5
inches,
feet, depending on the brand, or just all across.
All of them are 5 feet. Besides like specialty vinyl, so if you get like reflective or like chrome, usually comes in 4 feet. It's weird.
So how do you know if somebody's like who's the best? Okay, you could be honest because you're pretty transparent.
I don't care, bro.
Who's the best vinyl rapper in New York?
In New York, right off the bat, Neil from ND Vinyls.
Neil.
Yeah, Neil. He's.
I literally said it. Yeah.
So obviously I've been to a lot of car shows.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of rap jobs. I've seen a lot of shit. He's the first person that I saw a car. I'll never forget. It was at AutoCon. The first time AutoCon was ever in New York, I'm pretty sure.
When was that? What year?
2018, maybe 2019, something like that.
I think it was in Manhattan, right?
Yeah, it was one of the piers, somewhere by a pier.
I think I was there. I didn't have.
It was like TJ Hunt was there.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
I was there. I was there with Vlad Zumi.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, he was there. Yep. So, I saw a car. I'm pretty sure it was if I remember correctly, it was Evo 8. It was yellow, and I was looking at this car, and I was like, it looks like it's wrapped. Like the finish of it looked like it's wrapped because it had like orange peel and stuff. And I'm just looking at it. I'm like once you get close, you could really see. Like if you really look hard enough.
Right.
And I was looking, and it took me like, I'm gonna be straight with you. It probably took me probably close to like 10 to 15 minutes. And
really?
I could not find. I was just like, I don't understand. Like how is this wrap? And then I finally found one spot where you could see the original color under the car. It was like in between, like deep in between, in between panels. And I was like, holy shit.
He was probably pissed about that too if he knew about it.
Yeah, but it was one of those things where like you really, really, dude. Like, and I'm an installer. Like,
yeah.
And at that time, that's the thing too. Like back then versus now, like every car I do, I learn.
Right.
You know, it's never like like this is my level and like that's it.
Yeah.
So nowadays, I probably would have been able to catch it quicker. But even then though, I was still like a decent installer. Like, and I was just like, what the fuck, 10, 15 minutes wasted, and I was just like. Now I found it,
Yeah.
It blew my mind. He also won Rapper of the Year award, I think, like a year or two ago at SEMA.
Recently?
At
SEMA?
Yeah.
Yeah, he deserves it though, man. I met him when I was filming at 180.
Okay.
And and they were there that year too. Mm-hmm. And I just remember filming a video for him when he rapped like I think it was the first M5 that year. And it was the first M5 to be rapped. And I feel like it was in the country, or maybe in the world. I'm not really sure.
Oh, and then they dropped a new one, the comp, right, or whatever.
Yeah, it was like he wrapped it black, a satin black.
Yep,
I think it was.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I did a video for him, and I just remember his attention to detail. Like he was super picky about anything, and also he literally tears the car apart. Like everything comes off the car, literally everything.
So that's a thing too that I'd like to touch upon, because if there's any like installers that watch this, like or even just people that are curious. There's different types of installers. I'll be straight with you. So like Justin Pate is he's like endorsed by Avery Dennison. He's a phenomenal installer, and he's more of maybe commercial wraps. Like he doesn't take apart the cars, and he does them quick. It's pretty much like you have like the spectrum. Right. You have like money makers, and then you have like the people that are in it for the craft. So the money makers are like, they're not going to take apart the car. They're going to wrap it. It's one color, yes. Can you really find it if you wanted to look? Yes, of course you can. But is there going to be corners cut? Yeah, technically there's going to be seams in weird spots because they don't take it apart. And then you have the people over here, which would be like Neil, let's say.
Yeah.
He's the guy that's going to it's literally a color change. Like literally everything is getting changed to color, where you can't tell that it's even wrapped.
Right.
And there's no bad or good about, either one. It's just, it depends on what kind of installer you are and what kind of business you want to have,
Right.
Where like I like to be more in like the middle towards the like color change side.
Yeah, both sides. You got to make your money, and you also care about your craft.
Yeah. Where like commercial wraps on the left hand, let's say, would be like food trucks, like FedEx. You ever look at you ever get like halal and you ever look at the food trucks?
Like, so
you ever like look at the quality?
Yeah.
Like, that's like you go in there and they literally smack the vinyl on, bro.
Right.
But it's done in like a couple of hours, you know?
Yeah. So it's like like trucks, work trucks and stuff like that you're talking about. Yeah, but I mean that is tedious too because they do a lot of jobs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, in a short amount of time too.
Absolutely.
So just like constantly cranking.
But it's just different spectrums that people don't realize that like
right.
rap is not just rapping.
Right.
Like there's difference, you know.
Same with video. Like there's wedding videographers, there's music video guys, there's content creators nowadays. So like there's different tiers of it.
Exactly.
For sure. So, what is the average cost for a vinyl wrap nowadays?
In New York. Because it goes by area.
Right.
It depends who you are, but I mean, rap
Average.
after COVID, the film went up. I would say on average, you could probably get your car wrapped nowadays from $2,500 to like $3,500.
Okay, that sounds about
$2,500 is definitely on the lower end.
Yeah.
$35, I would say, is like a nice. That's what it should be costing, somewhere in the $3 to $35 range. Anything above that is like you're in the higher class, like higher tier, which would be like Neil, let's say, you know, something where you're gonna really like go in. But you remember, you're paying for him taking apart a lot of stuff or whatever the case, you know, or like certain films. Some people only like certain films. Yeah, you know, stuff like that.
He actually sent me a different companies that he knows of that are actually really good that I never heard of. But they have different colors. I just didn't have any colors I wanted.
You know what brand?
I can't remember, man. He sent. I have it. It's in my DM.
Dude, so many people are trying to like push like it's like Tiny Bot.
It's not Tiny. He doesn't use that. It was some other like overseas company. It wasn't anything that was like local in the States.
Another thing I want to mention, just because people
watching this or whatever, we just talking.
Is I don't understand why people bring their rolls. They like they buy a roll and then they go, "How much to install this?" I don't understand that. Do you guys ever thought about that?
How much to install?
I actually have a guy. I have a friend. He bought a roll, and he was like, bro, can you like, do you know any guy that can wrap my car? I already have the roller. I was like, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know how much they would charge you.
I just don't understand like the thought process behind it, like why they buy the roll first and then go like, can you install this?
Some people. I have a friend that has a roll of a wrap that he's been talking about for a while. That somebody, I guess, gave to him or somebody owed him something. Okay, it's been sitting around in that particular situation. For me, I bought my own wrap, I think.
Did you?
No, actually, I didn't. I lied. The second time around, I had to buy my own wrap to do the wing because I didn't have enough material.
That's a little different though. That's the same thing.
Yeah, but I wouldn't go into a shop with the wrap and be like, how much to install this?
I don't know. I just feel like
why is that a problem? I don't.
It's not that it's a problem, but like I just don't understand. I feel like the people, not to put it into a group, but like I feel like the people that bring their own roll are they don't want to spend a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So they buy the roll and they go like, how much to install it? And I feel like they think it's going to be cheaper for some reason. But depending on what shop you go to, I guess, like me personally, I don't make money on my roll. If anything, you save money. Like I give you my discount. Like if I get X amount of dollars off, I give you that price.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, another thing too is warranty. You buy that roll, you don't have the warranty like I do if I have to put it into the system or whatever.
Okay,
that's a big thing, and people don't like. I don't think they just like over their head. They don't realize that kind of stuff.
They think they're gonna save money by actually so that they think that they're cutting out the middleman, which is you between the company, because they think that you're upcharging on the wrap.
That's what I think. That's only the logical thing I can think of. But then I tell them that I'm like, for future reference, like, like I don't charge. Like I'll literally show you the invoice for it. Like, Yeah. I don't know. People, I don't know. It's like weird. I feel maybe it's like the bigger number is lower, so they feel better about it. I don't know.
It's probably it's gonna save them like $600 or something like that. I mean, I guess
it is technically,
technically,
but like you're not saving it. You're just giving it to them, paying tax on it, no discount. Like
so you're probably better off buying it through your installer technically, because then
I would suggest that any day of the week.
Yeah.
And another thing too is people that keep buying like. Which you get into like specifics, like technology of the film, like calendared and cast films, like like Inazitech.
Yep.
That brand, Tech Wrap, I think also makes film like that, where it's a calendared and cast. It's a mix.
Okay.
Where you have like vinyl film, let's say like the satin black on your hood that I did, versus like that film will be one's like vinyl wrapping film, one's like decal vinyl. So like the sticker vinyl for like windows and stuff. They combine them. And it creates this nice glossy finish that everyone likes, and like different finishes.
Oh, really?
But it lasts a lot. It lasts like less. Like the
longevity
of it.
Really? That's longer?
So like film like yours, I don't know about that one specifically, but the glossier ones, they only have like a 1 year lifespan.
Yeah. So a friend of mine has tech wrap, and he did mention that, but he said something about like that it. I don't believe it, but he said it actually like is like scratch resistant, like it absorbs like. I don't know.
Scratch resistant. I mean, all films like vinyl. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like plastic.
Yeah.
You know, you heat it up, it will like self heal itself. But we're not talking. It's not like paint protection.
Self healing.
Film.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's not expel. It's not like it's
no.
It's
nothing like that. It's just like, you know, you like wipe it. It gets a little like scratch, like scuffed. I guess you would say like swirled almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. You put some heat on it, it'll go away for the most part.
Okay.
But it's nothing like paint protection film. Paint protection film is good stuff.
Okay, so what's the best vinyl wrap to get? You think, in your opinion, that you work with?
And
I don't want to say colors. Let's just say like to work.
I know it's such a. It's a hard question to answer.
Really?
Yeah, because it depends on the car. It depends on what your goal is. Like that's what I tell people too. They're like, "Oh, I want the best film or like the cheapest film or whatever." I'm like, it's not really. It doesn't really work like that. Like your finish, for instance, you have this matte chrome, satin chrome finish. Yeah. That is, to me, is the best brand to use for that finish. You know, if you want some black accents on your car or whatever the case is, 3M or Avery is usually the go-to. Like you could use different ones, you know, for different things, but it depends on the application.
Right.
You know, if you're going for like a show car finish, there's certain films that make certain, you know, like finishes and stuff.
So show cars should have certain brand wraps on their cars?
Not brands, but certain companies make certain finishes. Let's call it that.
Copy. So what are the show car like brands? Or like just one of them.
Tech Wrap and NOZ Tech.
Really?
Usually are the people like gravitate towards those because of the glossiness. Number one is the glossiness.
Yeah.
You wrap your car, you want it to look like paint because like you don't want to pay for a paint job. You want some crazy color. It looks like glass. You know.
Right.
That's what everyone wants. Or like the chrome finishes. That's a big one, bro. You know, everyone wants that like mirror, like weird, like especially red. Everyone does the red chrome. Yeah. You ever seen those? Like everyone likes the red chrome for some reason.
It's fire.
Like that's a finish you can't get unless you do, you know, like a chrome finish. And Tech Wrap came out with that, which is not technically chrome. It's just like a silver base with like a whole bunch of metallic flake that makes it look like that. And then if you go with like Avery or 3M, that roll is like $4,000. So you're talking $600 versus $4,000. No install. That's just the material. And then the install is even worse because the material is so hard to install that you're talking at least $4,000 or $5,000. I would say in whole. Yeah, like a chrome job usually goes for about 10 G's.
Oh, for chrome. Okay.
Yeah. Chrome, matte chrome, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
In terms of like a quality vinyl.
Like the reflective chrome we're talking about, right? Like
chrome is chrome.
Okay.
So like if you go Avery or 3M and you get like a mirror finish.
Yeah.
Like let's say like a mirror
like
chrome.
Finish, right.
And then if you put like a matte chrome, it's just a matte over laminate that goes on top of it. So underneath it, it's still chrome.
Right.
Like if you were to peel that, you could literally peel the top layer off and you could see underneath it it's chrome. Even if you see colored ones, like I did my Mustang like a martini wrap, and I didn't want to cheap out because I was like, let me get the good stuff, whatever. So I bought red chrome, and it cost me $1,000 for 30 feet. And I put it on my car. That's another thing too. It doesn't last. Put it on my car.
Oh man.
4 or 5 months, I think it was. It started like where it was cut, like because it was like a design, like where the film was. The red that was on top of the mirror chrome like receded back. Yeah, it was weird.
What?
So like it was like back, and then you just saw a strip of like glue and like real chrome on top, and I was like,
"Oh hell no!"
And I just spent $1,000 on 30 feet.
That's crazy,
I would have been
bro.
fucking pissed.
Yeah, I peeled the whole car. It pissed me off to the point where I didn't even want to replace it. I just peeled the whole car. I just did a whole different look.
Damn, I always knew that chrome wraps were expensive, and I vividly remember seeing them on like YouTube on like Lamborghinis and stuff like that. And then also there's that Corvette that has
the Corvette.
GTA guy.
The
Goblin.
He's got a bike that's the same color.
He's a neochrome stuff.
Yeah, the neochrome stuff.
I'm pretty sure it's Tech Wrap.
Is that like the same? It's expensive still for that too, or no?
Tech Wrap doesn't tax on it like that.
Okay.
I think a roll of that's like $1,000.
Is it good quality though? Like, how do you even wrap? Like, what?
Me personally, I tell this to everybody because I get a lot of people that want chrome.
Yeah.
Then I tell them what it costs. Because like if I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the good stuff. Like if you want to mirror finish, let's say. But everyone wants that oil slick, like that crazy rainbow stuff, you know, like that guy. And you could do it in Tech Wrap, but like, dude, we're talking 2-3 months. One car wash, a couple car washes, it's gonna get destroyed. It's not the technology in the industry is not there yet. I don't think for that type of finish.
Right.
It's just not there. It's like paint. Like, why don't we have paint that looks like chrome? The technology is just not there.
Yeah, I thought about doing that to my car, like doing a chrome type of finish or whatever. I was like, damn, like seeing like a lot of guys going through like car wash and stuff like that, and seeing like scratches and stuff.
Bad. So I'll tell you how you're supposed to do it. If you want to do a chrome finish on a car, and then make it last, you have to paint protection on the entire thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
So now you're talking. Let's call it good film, good installer, $10,000. Then you're talking probably another $6,000 just to PPF the entire car.
Yeah.
I'll leave that to the luxury,
go buy another car, bro.
Yeah, unless you're doing shows or you have like a Lambo or something.
Even still, like, why are you doing chrome? Let's talk about it, bro. Why are we doing chrome?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of chrome. Man. I'm not a fan of chrome. I never really was. It's just a little. It's too much for me personally. I think it's
too much for everybody. Let's be honest.
It's just too much.
It's too much. It's a lot.
I think it's a little tacky, to be honest. But there are some fire ones I've seen on Lamborghini like Aventadors.
Yeah.
But like that's an Aventador. I feel like if you have it on like a regular, I don't want to say a regular car, but I feel like honestly even your car might look fire in like a red chrome.
Regular car. That's fucking.
Nah, not a regular car, but like
it belongs on specific cars.
Yeah, specific cars.
I think cars that are flashy already, like really crazy exotics.
Yeah.
If you put the chrome, it works because it's that car.
Exactly.
But even still, that's a lot.
I have one more question.
You didn't ask any questions.
Well, yeah.
So Calvin had to go to the bathroom real quick, so we're back. You probably won't even know what happened, but we just want to, just for the video's sake, because you don't see him with like one shot. It's like his hoodie's off, and then it's like, yeah, it's like, yeah.
Yeah. So my question is it really difficult when you had to do like a design? You know how like the one I was showing you, the design where, for example, where it's like there's different what is it?
So what you showed me, so what you showed me was a digital print, which is like one big sheet with the design on it.
Yeah.
You mean like that, or do you mean the one where I put like pieces on top of it, like where it's like stacked?
No, it's like the whole thing where it's like.
Okay, so what about that?
Is it really difficult to like to put it on the car?
Yeah, I always wondered that. Like those like, how do you know where things are gonna line up?
Yeah.
You're blind. You're blind when you do it.
Yeah, really? Well, especially because you had to do it on the other side too, right?
Yeah, so depends on the design. So like what you showed me, remember I was explaining to you, when you have just a pattern across a car that doesn't really need to line up anywhere specific,
right.
Realistically you kind of just slap it on. You just make sure it's like level with the car. So that's really not that hard. That's called skinning, or at least in my terms, where you kind of go taillight to headlight, or headlight to taillight, whatever it is.
Okay.
Where you put one big sheet and then you kind of just wrap the whole thing and then you cut in between or whatever. The only time it gets like really difficult is when you're doing that on like let's say a white car or like a yellow car, and we put like black on top of it or blue or a color that contrasts like not good at all.
Yeah.
Because when you cut in between, you need to make sure there's just enough bleed where you can tuck and you don't see the color. That's where it gets pretty difficult. When you start doing like crazy designs, like the other ones I was showing you, like Course Auto Design, that's a plug right there. When he does designs, it's really in depth. So like you spend a decent chunk of money with him, but at the same time, you don't see what happens behind the scenes with me and him kind of like coordinating like pieces of a bumper that's supposed to line up with a fender, or things like that. That kind of stuff that's hard, because let's say you lay it down on headlight to taillight and you have all these magnets down and whatever. I have a reference photo on my phone, let's say I'm looking at, and pretty much let's say there's a circle that's supposed to be right under your mirror, right? And then there's like a square that's supposed to be by your handle.
Right.
I put this on and I have to like feel I'm literally pushing on the wrap to see where the handle is or where the mirror part is and see if that's where it's supposed to line up. Those are my reference points. Like certain designs like land in certain spots.
Yeah.
And then so you have that. Let's say you figure out where it's supposed to be. Then you have to peel it back and then start like laying it down. Now when you do that, if you ever taken film like vinyl before, you could stretch it. You pull it. Yeah. And when you peel a piece that's, a square foot, let's call it, and you pull it like this, it'll stretch a little bit. But when you have a piece that's 5 foot by like 15 feet, you pull a little bit, it starts moving.
Yeah.
So like those things kind of get skewed and whatnot. It's hard. It's definitely not easy. And then you do it solo. Like I'm a solo installer. That's another thing. A lot of people do, they have employees or whatever, and like, they have helping hands. Like I do this all solo, and do that solo is no joke.
Dude, I don't even know how you guys do it solo. The guy who wrapped my car, he does it solo. I actually helped him for the hood. Because the material doesn't. That material does not.
That's not easy hood at
all. But other than that, like I don't.
You kind of learn. You learn. Like I had to learn the hard way. Like like I said, my partner left, and
I
had to figure it out. Like, I had jobs. I was like, what am I going to do? Not do it.
Well, you don't got to pay somebody though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it also comes down to like where your business is at. If you have enough work to actually do, like I'm at that point where I have so much business, and that's another thing too. I rap really fast. Like I don't do it on purpose, but like I was telling him, like the Porsche behind you, if he wanted to get a rap, like if he takes it apart and I just come here and just do it, I could get it done one day, no problem.
The whole car?
Yeah, and I do that a lot for Supreme Shine. You know AJ, if you know him. This guy Prestige, they have detail shops, honestly, straight up. It's detail shops where they offer wraps and they wholesale it or sublease it, you know, whatever. And I'll come in and I'll tell them like, give me like 2-3 days on the car. I usually get it done the same night. Yeah, it's usually one shot. I don't do it on purpose. It's just that when I'm in the zone, I'm just going, bro.
Phones off.
Yeah, AirPods in and just music, and I'm just going. Yeah,
that's dope.
So usually I get it done in a day, which I haven't met anybody that really raps that fast. Yeah. So maybe that's the thing, you know.
It could be.
But, so going back to it, so employees, if you have that helping hand, it's nice. But like at the end of the day, yeah, do I not have to pay someone? Yeah, it's great. But like I'm also working like the same amount as like 5 people.
So that, so that leads me to the next question, because like a lot of people who start their own business, whether it's you do a mechanic working on cars, vinyl wrapping, how many jobs do you have to do in order to like on an average on a weekly basis in order to open up your own shop? Like what's the next level for you to be able to say like, okay, it's time for me to open up a shop now. Like I need space, you know? How many jobs, you know, a week do you have to do, or
personal preference?
Let's
be real.
Let's say New York, because rent prices are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So let's say you have an overhead of $3,000. Let's call it $4,000, so it's by month. So let's say you have an overhead of $4,000 as a whole. You need to make $1,000 a week. Can you make that $1,000 a week? That's your question. If you can make it,
$4,000 a month for overhead, you need to make $4,000 a month wrapping cars.
Yeah.
Interesting. What about so there's no other costs that go into like owning a shop?
Well, when I say overhead, I'm just meaning like not just rent. I'm meaning like what it costs.
Everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just using easy numbers, so it's like by week, so it's easier. But it depends where you are. I mean, like, it depends on overhead. I don't want to get into numbers and like what mine is, but realistically, if you could make $4,000 a month, like $1,000 a week, yeah, you can technically get a shop. Will you make anything? No. But could you have a shop? Yeah. Like there's a lot of people that have shops that they don't make money. They, like straight up, I'll be honest with you, they don't make money. They make maybe $500 take home a month. Now, is that something, if you're willing to pretty much eat shit for months or a year or however long it is until you get to that constant flow of work where you make over $1,000 a week?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, there's definitely that weird space that like, if you can do it, you can do it. If not, you know, it's up to you, really.
Is it better to not just be focused on vinyl wrapping and maybe have a couple of different businesses, or maybe even sub out your space?
I have different businesses.
Well, yeah. I'm saying like, so like if you have a shop, let's say if you have a shop and you want to start wrapping cars,
okay,
and you're only making $1,000 a week, how else can you bring in money into your shop? That way you can have more income.
Well, that's being just a business owner, you know?
Okay.
It depends. Like some people, I feel like there's younger kids that are getting into vinyl wrapping, let's say.
Yeah.
Since we're on the topic.
Right.
They go, I can make, that's why people charge like so cheap. It's like $1,500. Okay, yeah. Let's say the material's $500. Yeah, you just made $1,000. Bro, you could have charged $2,500, which is on the lower end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
But you would have made an extra $1,000 for no reason. Like you didn't have to undercut prices that bad. Yeah. That's another thing. I'm going to say this right now too. If you get into a business, videography, any business, literally any business, if there's a going rate of this much, right? You don't have to be down here. Because when you go down here, you make these people where you want to be at. Let's say you just started, you want to be at this price, but you're down here. You make them come low. And then the moment you want to go to that price, it doesn't exist anymore because the price is now here.
Right.
People don't understand that.
Yeah.
You undercut people, and now the whole industry needs to lower their prices.
Yeah, that's true.
It's such a disaster. And like honestly, I'm really grateful for like the newer generation of people that are trying to get into business, like younger kids. I've had people. I probably get like maybe like 1 or 2 every 6 months that come to my shop, and I'm like, hey, can I help you? Whatever. They're like, I want to open up a wrap shop. What do you have any tips? And I tell them that. That's the number one thing. If you're gonna leave here with any type of information, that's it.
Yeah.
yo, if I charge 3,500, you can go cheaper. Charge 25. Charge $3,000.
Right.
Because I can make the money. You can make the money. There's no point of going $1,500 or $1,000. That's why there's like, you ever see those rap specials? There's like $1,000 on Instagram, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I would
what are you
never.
doing?
I would
you never
never.
seen that?
I
Well, because I'm a rapper, so like obviously it comes up because I'm
Oh
always like
yeah.
rapping
I
stuff.
would
But like,
never take my car there.
yeah.
Me personally, I wouldn't, because I'm like, how are you even making any money, and why you're promoting this? So how many other people are hitting you up? That means you're looking for like you're looking for volume, but like
It's usually to get your name out there, you know.
Yeah.
But like if that's the case, don't charge prices like that. Like just cause.
yeah,
Sponsor people.
right,
You know, find someone that has some sort of social media pull or goes to events or whatever. And that's another thing. Fact check them. Make sure they're going to these things, because a lot of people say I'm going to all this stuff and then they never go.
yeah,
Make sure they're going to them and then sponsor those people.
yeah.
You know?
I agree.
To people that actually deserve that sponsorship, not just someone that's being cheap.
No, I agree with everything you're saying. I just spoke about that a couple of days ago, where people want sponsorship so bad, but they don't want to do anything to offer the companies anything. They don't want to go out to shows. They don't want to offer them content. Initially they say, oh, I'm going to do this and that. I'm going to do that, and then they just really want the product, and they're not going to give the company back anything.
Yep.
So a lot of people do that. A lot of people want sponsors, but they don't have anything to offer. You have to.
People get asphyxiated too on like the free stuff.
Yeah, it's like not.
It's like they want it free.
Well,
like most sponsors, like people don't understand most sponsors, because like I'm sure you have a couple, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a couple. It's not free, bro.
it's not. I
No.
Like
yeah,
yo, it's
no, it's
discounted.
not.
Like you get
Sponsorships are not
discounts.
free.
Like,
Yeah.
will you get a couple of free ones? Of course.
Right.
You know, if someone's really like wants to invest in you, yeah. At the end of the day, it's just an exchange.
That's
Yeah.
it.
And people don't understand that. They think it's like, oh, I'm sponsored by these people. I got something for free.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if you don't live up to your end of the bargain, like, you're
it.
you're screwed. And then you know what I like too about companies? Like, so a few of my sponsors, some of them don't do contracts. Like, they'll just like give you the product, be like, oh, here's a discount code, whatever, which is more of a generic type of thing, where I feel like you just want volume, like get the name out there.
Right.
But the companies that do contracts, that's what's up. You know.
That's. I mean,
When you sit there and you sign a contract, like recently I just got signed with Spoiler King as a driver for drifting or whatever. We're gonna make some sick content, and I think I'm gonna do like my own line of like products and stuff.
Sick.
that's fire.
Yeah, it's gonna be sweet. I got so much stuff planned for that.
Bro, I gotta go with you. You gotta take
100%. Yo, that's another thing too. Like, if they don't make it for your car, you come by, they make it, you take it. Like, that's it. It's
Oh,
sick.
that's fire.
Yeah. But I have some crazy ideas planned with that, so I'll keep you guys in touch with that. But they have a whole contract. They have lawyers involved, everything, and you have to read over the whole thing and see what it is. And that's another thing too. Don't just sign it.
Right. You
like,
gotta read. You gotta read.
read
whatever's in
it.
there. Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not that I'm talking shit, but Braum, right? That company, which is not a bad company, they offered me a sponsorship long time ago.
Right.
And I read their contract, because everyone was getting sponsorships, and I'm like, all right, let me see what this is like actually about. Because like I'm like whatever. I was reading it, and I'm looking at it, and not that it's bad, because it makes sense on their end, but it's not fair to the sponsee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they were doing it where it was like, if you take a photo, or you had to post like once a month or once a week or whatever of their whatever they gave you at a discounted price. So they give you this, and then it's like, if there's any other company that sells interior stuff or anything like that, you need to take the photo, run it by them. They need to approve it, then you can post it. Which isn't a problem, because I get it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, dude, you're telling me if I got like a Momo steering wheel or like something like that. Like, yo, they make seats.
Yeah.
They make harnesses. It's like, and then that's the thing where they go, if you do that and you don't tell them or whatever the case is, they void the contract, you get charged full price. Which isn't bad, but I think on the consumer's end, like that's like bro.
No, yeah.
Like, what do you expect? Come on.
I actually didn't read the Braum contract.
You have it?
Yeah, I'm sponsored by them. That was my first.
You should read it. They might have changed it. This was a long time ago.
This was like 2 years ago. So
I'm talking like 7.
And this is before I even had 10K followers. They were gonna be my first. I said to myself, when I get to 10K, I'm gonna reach out to Braum and get a sponsorship. So I reached out at like 9,000, and I was talking to Thomas, and I was like, yo, I don't know if I want to reach out yet. He's like, bro, just do it. So I made a whole post. I went crazy with it because it's my first time reaching out to a sponsor, and they actually, they gave me a sponsorship deal, a pretty good one.
Nice.
Because of what I do, filming. So I offered them a lot. And they literally what you said is exactly what it was. But I didn't read that part of the contract.
Well, it might not be there.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I was just so excited because I was like,
that's the thing. A lot of people get like caught up in it, which
Yeah.
I get it. It's a lot of hype, bro.
Yeah.
Like especially if it's your first one,
it was my first
you don't
one.
care.
Yeah. AWE was my actual first one, but I didn't
What was their contract? Because sometimes they don't give contracts.
It was. AWE did a contract and Braum did a contract as well.
Yeah.
But AWE, I literally made so much content for them that like they reposted some of the stuff too. That's so cool. AWE was actually my first. Vossen was okay.
You got picked up by Vossen?
Vossen, those wheels, yeah, they sent me those wheels. That was my first official.
Were you like, yo, you must have been so hyped on that?
Honestly, I didn't even.
I've been waiting on that moment.
I didn't even know.
You know? Like, I want a big company. I'm like, you know.
So those wheels, they sent me those wheels. That was, I didn't pay for those. That was a sponsorship.
They just straight up like
sent them.
Sick.
So but then AWE I had to pay for. Braum I had to pay for as well.
Yeah.
Good rate.
I mean, that's usually how it is. It's fair. Yeah, it really is.
It's fair. It's fair. But I also offered them a lot. But I do social media content. So that was my thing. I was doing content. So it worked out in their favor because even the steering wheel, that's another thing. That's another sponsor. Like I had to pay for it, but he got a lot of business. So if I ever need him for anything, I can always reach out and he's going to be, definitely willing to work again.
I feel like another thing too is just building a relationship. Like, yeah, you may not get the free product
That's
right
all I
now.
look at. That's all I look at.
That's the thing. Like networking, dude.
Networking.
That's it. Like everyone, like I said, everyone's just afixiated on free stuff. I don't get it. I
mean,
I
get
it
wasn't about
like,
the free. It wasn't about.
It's more just the networking. Like that's the same thing with Spoiler King. What I had to offer it wasn't nothing monetarily because they kept pushing me like, yo, here's a discount code. Like, make your money. And I'm like, I don't want money. Like, I want to build a relationship and I want to like build me as a person and you as a brand together. And I want to be the first of whatever I create or whatever the case is. And I think that's worth a lot more to a company than me going like, oh, let me get a discount code and get kickback from something, sales or something.
I'm the same way. And I think that people think that most of my following is from like content, but it's more of relationships because initially my goal was to get sponsors. That's the only reason I wanted to do the car the way it is. It wasn't to be famous or anything like that. It was just to work with brands in order to help them out. That way, you know what I'm saying? I can have relationships built because I didn't know anybody. I wasn't in the car scene. I never really went to car shows.
Yeah, you came out of nowhere.
So exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like I had to work with some type of company. I didn't just want to say like I'm a car guy and then not work with any, reputable companies. So that was my way in, and I'm still learning a little bit more, obviously. And I'm trying to get to more face-to-face relationships where I can go to car shows and actually network with people because everybody on social media is just like doing the same thing. Everyone's trying to get the same sponsors. Everyone's going to Braum. Everyone's going to Vossen. Everyone's going to AWE.
Well, it gets like hype, Yeah,
it's hype. But you find a lot of valuable relationships and people who've been in the car game for years at car shows.
Oh yeah.
Who've had their boots there. Like they go to every show and they're like big companies. So it's like it's probably better to build relationships with those guys rather than the guys that everybody on social media is going for.
Yeah, they're just handing them out.
They're just handing them out. So it's definitely
I agree.
important to build relationships with companies and not just look for handouts. I think that's very, very important.
I agree.
So before we move on to drifting, have you ever? Yo, because I have some good questions for drifting.
Good.
Well, maybe not good questions, but like stuff that I want to know. But do you know anything about Autoflex?
I do.
How do you feel about Autoflex?
I think
what is Autoflex?
To my knowledge, because I'm not like obviously I don't do it, so I'm not like. To my knowledge, it is plastic dip.
Okay.
With automotive clear coat on top. So that's what I know. That's what at least I think, or that's what I've been told. That's what I looked up, whatever. Because I've peeled it. I've never installed it, obviously.
Right.
I've definitely peeled it a decent amount of times where people get their car Autoflex and they come to me like, yo, I want to wrap my car and like this, blah, blah, blah.
And what do you think about it?
In terms of what, though? Okay. No, but like in terms of what, though? No, because like, if you're more specific, I can answer,
Well, you were answering. I was, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, if we're going back to like wrapping, like in terms of wrapping, it is a disaster. Because what happens is when you paint a car, right, or anything, like let's say you rattle can something, overspray. That's a huge thing.
Yeah.
When they Autoflex a car, plastic dip a car, whatever, paint a car, in between the seams, paint gets there.
Right.
And when it gets to that point where it's overspray and it's like a rough texture, you can't wrap that. It doesn't adhere. The adhesive doesn't actually stick to it. Okay. So you'll go to wrap like, let's say, in between a fender and a door or something, and you go to tuck it around. It doesn't stick because there's overspray on it.
Yeah. So
what do you have to do? Prep the entire car in between every nook and cranny, and it's like it's a disaster.
So normally I think that I heard that they do like the door jams and stuff like it's like a paint job. with Autoflex.
Depending on who it is.
But so let's say the best guy apparently who I keep hearing about, who's like the guy to go to, in I think Long Island City. He takes it's like a paint shop apparently.
Is that the Dipper guy?
I think
Something
so.
Dipper, Auto Dipper,
it's the guy
or
with
New York
the
Dipper.
NSX who
yeah.
He actually has his car Autoflex. It's gray, and he's redoing it.
Andy?
Is that his name?
I think so. He's like bold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys know Andy?
Yeah. He comes here all the time. We were just with him.
No
at the Hamptons.
way.
Yeah, that's the NSX that we were talking about.
No, well, that's another. We had 2 NXX.
I know, you're telling me the other one. Andy. It's got like, it's auto.
He's Puerto Rican.
Oh,
Yes.
He's got tattoos. Yeah.
Bro, that's my boy.
Yeah, he's mad
Yeah.
cool.
Hell yeah.
He's always
Yeah,
here,
that
bro.
car's Autoflex.
He knows Willie. He's like really close
That's
to Willie.
sick. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wow. Small world.
Yeah, so he's been telling me, he's like, yo, I'm telling you, man, you guys should get Autoflex because it's
I don't want to hear
better.
that shit, bro. He came to my shop. He was like, yo, I'm thinking I want to wrap it. I'm really like this.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that. I don't hear that. Nah, I'll be straight with you. Yeah, so it's I don't remember his name exactly. It's something Dipper. It's
Yeah,
like
that's
New York
the guy.
Auto Dipper or something.
Wherever
like
that he goes to, that's him.
I'll be straight with you. He's good.
Okay.
Out of all the Autoflex jobs I've ever seen, it's
He's
top
good.
notch.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
if you want to go that route, that is definitely the guy to
Yeah.
go to. Andy's car. Look at Andy's car.
Yeah, it looks
It's phenomenal. It looks like paint.
Yeah, but
it looks
the
fantastic.
The only thing I'm curious is that why is it cheaper than wrapping a car?
That's what I mean. It's around. Yeah,
all right,
it is
so I think
cheaper.
it's more like. I mean, no, it's definitely not cheaper. If you're gonna go to the guy Andy went to,
Yeah.
it's about the same as a wrap.
He said about 3 bands.
Yeah, around there.
3,500.
But at the
I'm
same
saying,
time,
so
it looks
same
like
thing.
it's spray.
It is.
No, they give you touch-up paint. So like if you
Yeah.
get the car wrap, not wrap. If you go Autoflex, he gives you like a little thing of touch-up paint. He said.
Yeah.
And you can. Which
Yeah,
makes sense.
I mean, it's personal preference. I mean,
Personal
I guess,
preference.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know how long that stuff lasts. Like I don't know any of that stuff, so I
They say
can't
it's
tell you. I
over a
don't really
while.
have that much knowledge. I can tell you what wrap will do, you know, but
yeah.
I guess in finish, like a lot of people were obsessed with like the finish. Like I wanted
Yeah.
to look like paint and not be paint. That was their like everyone's big thing like a couple
Right.
of years ago. And then you have brands that came out and they were like,
It knows
here,
tech. Yeah.
you know, Tech Wrap,
Basically.
same thing. Tech Wrap's glossy stuff is insane,
Really.
insane.
They got
dude.
better.
Dude, insane.
Interesting.
And shout out to Gus from 506 Wraps. He's in Jersey.
Yeah.
The Supra I was just showing you. Yeah. So he did it.
What's Supra?
He has like that crazy wrap.
You know Corsa Auto Design?
Was it like the fish looking car you talking about?
Was it fishy? I kind of looks like
Yeah,
now
it's
that you think
kinda
about it.
Like Aquaman vibes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Black. It's black
Odd,
GT.
honestly, because it has nothing to do with like Aquaman at all. But like
Oh,
it's got that.
yeah.
No, but like it's got that. Yeah, that's weird.
I thought it was Aquaman vibes. 'Cause
It's got like
looks
teal
like,
and like it's got like that weird wing silhouette thing from like
yeah. It's like a Lambo. It looks like a.
It looks like the
Huracan.
Lambo.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Huracan one.
Audion is his name.
Okay.
He's Corsa Auto Design. Gus, which is 506 Wraps. I went there a long time ago for
Yeah.
my Mustang to get something printed because he has a lot of print stuff, and he was wrapping I think it was like a Tesla or something, and it was crazy glossy. And I was like, "What brand is this?" And he says Tech Wrap.
Oh wow.
And I used Tech Wrap many moons ago, and I didn't like it. I thought it was garbage, honestly. And he was like, "Yo, trust me, give it a shot."
They've improved.
So before I do it, like offer to anybody, I'll do it on my own car. So I did my truck, the green one, in the in the chrome,
that color's fire.
Yeah.
in the chrome. And once I did it, everyone was like, "Yo, I need this." So I started
yeah.
doing it, and people were like, "I don't really like the chrome finish. I want like a glossy look." I'm like, "They got glossy stuff." So I started doing all these gloss wraps, and that film was awesome. I love it.
Yeah, that color's fire. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tweaking.
So yeah, people just get obsessed with like the gloss look. So I think that was where the like Autoflex came out first with
Yeah.
the glossy stuff. So like people gravitated towards that. What I don't like is when people call it a liquid wrap.
liquid wrap for Autoflex.
Oh yeah, that pisses me off.
Liquid.
Because they're like, yo, like, I want to get my car wrapped, but I'm thinking of going like vinyl wrap or liquid wrap, and I'm like, bro, it's not even the same thing. Like,
Same thing.
like, yeah, I get it, it's peelable, but it's not a wrap. I mean, technically, yeah, I guess they're not wrong, but at the same time, it's like they're trying to brand like Autoflex or like Plasti Dip like it's vinyl wrap,
Yeah.
and like I don't like that. I think it's like why are you like biting off of vinyl?
Yeah,
bro?
it's probably a lack of knowledge too.
Yeah.
That's definitely lack of knowledge.
I
Well,
don't
yeah,
think
you
you go
definitely the vinyl wrapping thing is I definitely like. I see it differently now. We had this conversation with the whole vinyl stuff. So it's definitely.
We didn't even dig deep into it either.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's tons of other things, but
yeah.
I mean, I feel like if we had like another vinyl rapper here, it'd be perfect because you guys can go over like different techniques and stuff like that.
Whoa, it's a little secretive, no, I don't care. I tell people all the time.
That's the sauce.
That's the sauce.
Yeah.
But what I want to talk about is drifting. So you just came back from a drifting event.
I'm ready.
Right? You literally came back today.
Yeah, like a few hours ago.
Yeah. So literally, like,
man, it's tired, bro. It's like
what
time is it?
I'm shot, 1 o'clock? But it's all good. Dude, drift talk. I was just waiting for this right here, this moment.
So
yeah, me too.
All right. So you have a BMW.
A BMW. Yep.
It's
a
46
for any BMW lovers. It's a E46 Laguna Seca blue slick top, original 6-speed, but it has not the same motor or transmission. And it's wrecked.
Nice.
Is this your first drift build?
No, it's actually not.
Okay.
I had a G35, which I hate G35s. Like, not shitting on anybody, but like, I despise that car.
Take over King.
Rollback King. So I bought it. So my friend John, Roof Rack J, you know him?
Who?
Roof Rack J.
Oh yeah.
Roof Rack J. He's here, the Porsche and whatever.
Yeah.
So he got into drifting. Well, he started like flipping cars. Like he actually has a business now, but back then he was like, I want to kind of like start a business flipping cars and whatnot.
Yeah.
He found a good deal on a 350Z. It had like 50,000 miles on it. It was crashed. Like someone had to get a guardrail and like beamed across, whatever. Every angle was hit. Every part of the car. Bought the car for like super cheap. We had some other friends that were drifting. He went to a couple events. Me and him are like really close friends, like pretty much brothers. And he came back after a couple of events and he's like, yo, this is it. He's like, you need a drift car. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, dude, at that moment I had like 8 cars, I think, or 9 cars at the time. And I was like, I definitely don't want another car. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And he's like, dude, I'm telling you. He's like, if I had to get rid of all, because he had a decent amount of cars at the time too. He's like, if I had to get rid of everything and keep one car, it'd be the drift car. And I was like, wow. And he's big on like keeping cars and like specific ones. And he's like, if I had to get rid of all of it. So I'm like, all right. If you're saying that, like, it's got to be serious. So I was like, you know what? Let me look around. I found a G35. It had like, the chassis had like 250,000 miles on it. The guy said he changed the motor.
250,000 miles?
Yeah. The guy said he changed the motor. The only reason why I believed him is because the old motor was in the trunk. I bought it for like $2,000.
What?
Welded the diff, went to my first event, and then once I did my first event, dude, it was like, I was in love. Went home, ordered like $5,000 worth of stuff, put all the parts in the car. I go to test drive the car, the motor started knocking. Right? So at that point, I'm like, okay, I got an event in like 3 or 4 days. And I was like, I'm going to find a motor. Let's do it. Found a motor, put it in the car, turned it on. It was good. I went around the block and started knocking. And at that point, I was like, yo, I'm over this car. Like, I don't even care. I had the E46 in my driveway. At this point, it was actually like a show car. Like, I got the whole car repainted. I had the Workmeisters on there. That was originally for the Workmeisters.
Oh, really?
I mean, on that car, yeah. And I was like, you know what? There's a skid pad event, which is a skid pad's just pretty much a parking lot with cones and like lines and stuff. So I was like, I'll bring this car there, see how it does. If I like it, I'll just use that car. And then the car worked great, and I was like, this is it.
Damn. So, how, like, because I want to get into the drifting thing, but like I damn sure don't. Yeah, because I think it's like it's scary. Like, of course, because you could hit another car. There's so many things that can happen, right? You could spin out. This is just me in your own head. In my own head.
This is most people that haven't drift. This is what they
exactly.
think. So I get
exactly.
it.
So, what's like the best technique like to learn how to drift?
Going to takeovers.
Definitely don't do that.
Going to takeovers?
Definitely don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Well, okay. So let's be clear.
Okay.
Like this is not like spinning.
No,
I'm not talking about spinning.
No. Drifting. Yeah. It's definitely 2 different things. I mean, yeah. Honestly, there's a lot of people that go to the track that are takeover kids that go to the track and they stop they're doing takeovers and stuff and drift. And I tell them all the time, like, yo, kudos to you, straight up. Like that's you're ballsy for that, you know. Like it's a lot. But not to like divert from all that. What was the question? The original question?
Maybe I should go. So what's the best technique to learn how to drift? Like what do you know what?
First of all, you need a real drive car. It can't be automatic. That's the first part.
What are you trying to say, bro?
I'm trying to say
you can't drift in a Supra.
You could spin a Supra.
You can't drift in one.
Drift a Supra, no, unless you do some fucking. They have this thing where you can. You could put like this thing where you could put a clutch pedal and then like disengages.
Adam LZ did that.
Yeah. But like, I'm not rich. Are you? Because like that's a lot of money. I wouldn't go that route, and I definitely wouldn't slide something like that. I'd say the best thing I tell everyone all the time, like you can get into drifting for probably like $3,000. Maybe even cheaper, honestly, depending. Like it depends on the car market. Like the cheapest car I think you can get into is like an E46, and I'm not saying that just because like I have one. You get like a non-M E46. You weld the diff, it slides, and you can pick up. I bought one like 4 years ago for $500.
Wait, hold on. So because you lost me there.
Okay.
So you weld the diff, it slides. What is?
Okay, so
how does it slide automatically?
So the differential, like the rear end of a car, you have an open diff, which means that there's gears inside, and when you like let's say you do a turn, right? We're talking about the rear wheels,
right?
If I make a right-hand turn, this wheel is spinning less than the outer wheel because it's so that's an open diff. And then you have LSD, which means it locks, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Let's just talk about open and welded. When you weld it, you weld the gear inside, and what it does is when you make that turn, they spin at the same time, no matter what. You understand? So when you go to actually do that, you're actually losing traction in one wheel because it's spinning. So the inner wheel is spinning at the same speed as this one. So this one will actually start like chirping and like losing traction. So now put that into some speed. You go around the corner and you floor it. Now you automatically lose traction with that wheel, which makes the car start to slide a lot easier than let's say like clutch kicking it or something like that.
I mean, I've done.
Wait, did you listen to what he just said?
Yeah, I have.
Did you know this?
No, but like
you didn't know that. You have a question about something else. Your mind should be blown right
now. He's still soaking it in, right?
I want to ask him a comparison between my car and his car, right?
Okay.
Well, if I do a little circle, right?
Okay. A little circle.
Well, a little circle.
Okay.
What's the difference between me on the automatic and you on the manual?
For the most part, your car has a lot more power than let's say mine.
Okay.
When you have a clutch pedal, right?
Yeah.
The whole point of the clutch pedal is that if you can't just like let's say your car and you turn the wheel and floor it, your car will lose traction because it has a lot of horsepower to break the tires loose.
Yeah.
Right.
Like let's say I have a lower horsepower car, I would use the clutch pedal. When you put the clutch in and rev it, the motor revs up. When you let go of the clutch really fast, it shocks it and the it engages. So the rear wheels engage, which means that it's a lot of power at once, which actually makes it start to spin. Okay. Where in your case, when you floor it, let's say the turbo spools, you make boost, whatever, it spins the wheels. Where on a lower horsepower car, it's you need that clutch pedal.
Pretty much when I do a little donuts, whatever.
Yeah.
I just floor it and just...
Yeah, so you know how like when you go and then you floor it and it automatically just like gets sideways?
Yeah.
You go do that in like a 200 horsepower car, it most likely won't do that. Yeah.
Unless
you also have LSD.
The clutch, right?
This car's LSD, right?
I don't think so. No. These got LSD?
I don't know.
When I got stuck in the snow, it was like one wheel turning.
Okay, so no.
Yeah.
I mean, it still could technically be LSD, but most likely not.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Like you go do a donut.
If you guys know, drop in the comments.
I mean, you could probably swing a donut somewhat, but like let's say like you're gonna actually do a donut like a not like a little circle like whatever. Like you're trying to do like a sweeper, you wouldn't be able to if it's open diff.
Yeah, you know what's really funny? When I first started doing donuts and stuff like that, going to takeovers, I started calling myself.
Oh, you're a takeover kid.
Well, I used to.
Yes.
Really?
No,
I
really?
met him at a takeover.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, so you are one too? You were there?
No, I had no idea where I was going. So I
shut up. You would take over too.
I've never been there.
Yes.
I've never been to one.
Shut up.
Yo, I'll be straight with you. Every time I see one, like online, I'm like, yo, I would love to be there because I got grips. I'm like, I want to go, but like, I'm not gonna. But
well, I don't.
Wait, what's it like? Can I interview you? What's it like?
Yeah, no, I don't go to them anymore because a lot of shit's going on. But
yeah,
what do you mean? Because no, bro, they were never like, to me. It was never fun. It was just like I used to go to the runs back in the day.
Okay.
And like when the cops would come or whatever, like people run and whatever. Yeah. It's the same thing, but I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore, bro. Like, I just got my car wrapped. Like, you think I want some dude fucking pulling out the parking lot?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this isn't for me. I didn't know where I was going to. I thought it was a meetup, and then he's like, yo, we're going to a spot. I'm like, where are we going? He's like, oh, we're going to Home Depot or whatever. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, it's like a whole, bro, it was like like Gotham City, like Batman.
With
I was
a tornado
like, what
emoji
going on here?
on the story, a tornado emoji, bro.
Yeah,
That's what I was seeing. I'm like, what is that? And then someone goes, yo, it's spinning. I was like, oh. I was like, I feel like a boomer. I was like, damn, that's kind of smart.
No,
it's
it's actually fun because then there's a lot of people watching you and this and that, and they fucking create like a whole fire in a pit. Or whatever.
Oh, so you went to like a
I never
one.
went to one of those yet.
I've seen those and I was like,
I've been.
I mean, it looks like a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
like,
it looks fun, but at the same time, it's like fuck. There's too many people. I don't know.
Yeah.
What I don't like, I mean, it's the same thing with like drift events too. It's never really the drivers that are the danger. You know, it's the spectators, the people that don't know like yo, you can get hurt, bro. Like what are you doing? You know, I think that's the biggest thing with one of those.
But the only thing getting back to what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started doing donuts and going to like takeovers and stuff like that, I was pretty good at it. And then I started thinking to myself, "Oh shit, I can drift and this and that." But in actual like the drift event and stuff like you do, it's not like
it's completely different.
It's not the same thing.
Okay, so for instance, like I was saying before, with the takeover kids that go to the drift events, like the track. So I like it for them because it's humbling. Because they think they get like a huge head because they can drift in a circle. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever it is, or do a rollback. Yeah. Like, first of all, you're never doing a rollback. And if you're doing a rollback on the track, you're spinning. That's not good. You're not supposed to do that, you know? So they do a donut in automatic cars or whatever the case is, and they think it's great, and they get a huge head. They go to the track, and I've seen them. You know, you see them, and you know they're takeover kids because of the cars. That's the thing. They're never drifting in a piece of shit car. They're always in like a Mustang, like a newer Mustang or a newer Charger, whatever the case is. And it's always something like, you're like, okay, you know? And they'll go the first turn. They can't do it the whole day. So, second day, they'll get like one or two. And I'm just like, but at the same time, they're trying, you know? And I you know, you got to give kudos to that. You know, they're at least at the track being safe about it. They got the proper like safety gear and stuff. You know, because like when you go to a drift event, like there's tech and stuff, you need to have certain safety gear. So for them, I think it's good, you know, for people that go.
So... Cause I'm still okay. I'm still on this this welded diff situation. Okay,
because there's a lot of stuff, dude. I can get into like suspension.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So like, because for those people who want to build a drift car, right? Some people just have money and they just pay somebody to do whatever.
That's wrong.
Right? No. So
really,
dude, it's so wrong.
Yeah, you would want to learn how to build your car. Like,
not even that.
What
people
to
buy mods too early.
Okay.
I'm guilty of it. A lot of people are. Luckily, like I got into this sport, like I want to learn and I want to like really understand. And obviously, everyone wants to get good fast. Like angle kits, like an angle kit changes the front end of your suspension, like the geometry of it, where you get more angle out of a car. You know, so you have more turning. People they'll go like one event and they go buy an angle kit, and I'm just like, dude, don't do that because
you're not supposed to.
No.
So
I mean, no. There's no right or wrong. You know.
So give me the drift build starter kit.
Starter kit. Whatever car you have, make sure it's manual. If it has a good LSD, keep the LSD. If it has a welded, or if you have open diff, weld the diff. Get coilovers, a seat. You need a seat. Everyone keeps a stock seat for some reason, bro. Your knees are gonna be bruised from going like this, trying to drive or whatever, because you slide around the car. So coilovers, a seat, weld the diff. Yep, that's it.
Wow, I never thought about that too. With the
it's big time, dude. Like I see people that are good. And they have a stock seat. And I'm like, yo, why do you not have a seat yet? And then they'll get a seat. I'll see them in the next event. They're like, yo, this is the best thing I've ever done. Like, yo, they'll get handbraked angle kits. And like they think it's like the best thing. I'm like, yo, get a seat. It's the best mod. I still think it is. I think a seat, no matter what, is the best mod.
I got in the G-Wagon the other day.
Oh.
And dude made a turn in the car. And the seat was hugging me.
Yep.
I was like, yo, this is fire.
That's Mercedes. Bro, they've been doing that since like early 2000s.
I was like, yo, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Like,
it pushes on you.
Yeah, it pushes you the other way. I was like, yo, this is a vibe right here. Off topic, but Mercedes G-Wagon, they have seats that hug you.
Well, you pay that for that kind of car. I hope it has something weird like that, you know? Yeah.
No, it's beautiful. Ambient lighting, everything. Mm-hmm. So what's sorry to get off topic, but so like, what's the best car to get? You think cheap? So you just said to me before that the takeover kids have nicer cars. So you're supposed to have.
It seems like it, at least. You know, there's some kids with like cars that are normal drift cars, I guess, that are good takeovers. I mean, your typical ones are like just the affordable stuff is like G35s, 350Zs, E36, E46 BMWs, like 90s BMWs, early 2000s. Some people have 240s. They used to be cheap. Now they're just insane. New Edge Mustangs, so like a 90s. So you get like SN95, like a, let's say 90s to like early 2000s Mustang. That's a really good car. Yeah, anything honestly that's under like $4,000, $5,000 is considered
$4,000
cheap. That's good.
And then how much to
start up a build drift car?
Mm-hmm.
Throughout, like from the start, how much would it cost me?
That's hard to tell. That's hard to tell because I can tell you, like it depends on you. Like if let's say you want to take it to a certain level, you can have a grassroots they call it, which is like us. Let's say go drifting.
Yeah.
And then you have like let's say like Pro Spec. I mean, if you get into FD, you have like Pro Spec, Pro 2, Pro 1, whatever, FD. Those cars have a certain pretty much build level, where you're going to compete. If you're going to compete, I could tell you that price, what that would be.
Yeah.
And then you have like grassroots stuff. It could be a full blown FD car. Or it could be a $1,000 shit box. You know what I'm saying? It's hard, and if you also want to drift competitively versus people that just want to have a good time.
Right.
People build cars called party cars or seat time cars or drift missiles, let's call it, or whatever they call it. And usually that's going to be a car that has like the minimal amount of money and it just works. All you do is change the oil, drive, So like it ranges. It's so hard to, like at first, like when I first got into drifting with the G35, I was like, I want to be like $5,000-6,000 into this car. And like, that's it. Then I got to the E46 and like, it's been expensive.
And also, actually, where do you get your tires from?
I have a sponsor, Tire Stacks. Shout out to them. So we get them in bulk. We just buy them by the pallets.
Like used ones, like
no, brand new.
Oh, the brand.
That's another thing too. People want to buy used tires. When you buy used tires, and let's say you've been to a couple events and you like know how to slide for the most part. When you start really like sliding and like laying into power and like you start using tires and like heat soaking them or whatever. Used tires seem to delaminate. So like you have the base layer of tire, let's call it. Then they have the rubber that's on top. Yeah. When you put enough heat through a tire, that layer, the heat gets trapped underneath and it literally separates. So the tire will delaminate, which means the entire rubber strip will literally leave the like base of the tire.
Holy
and now
shit.
When you buy a used tire, let's say you buy them at like $40, $50. Yeah. Let's say $100 for 2 tires. Your $100 is gone by like second lap. Sometimes. Sometimes they last, sometimes they don't. Most of the time they don't. Yeah. So you go buy a brand new tire. It's brand new. You put heat into it. You could heat cycle your tires, meaning you get it to like let's say you take a couple laps, you take them off, let them cure 24 hours or whatever. Yeah. The rubber actually bonds to itself and it lasts a lot longer.
What's like the tires you get? Like
I get Kenda KR20As. It's a drift tire. They kind of FD just picked them up as a sponsor. The drift brands are going to be like Kenda, Accelera is another company, and then Valino is a new one that just came out, I'm pretty sure. Those are the ones that you want to get. And the reason why they're good tires is because they have pretty good grip, and then they'll last a decent amount of time, and they're pretty affordable,
Okay. So, any more questions?
I'm sorry.
Mess up the whole flow of what I was getting the tires. I'm trying to get to the breakdown of how you actually build this car, because you talked about the differential, right? And you talked about what kind of cars you should get into. Now, he asked how much, but you said it depends on the different factors. Yeah. Right? So,
I mean, I could tell you like where you would stop. Like if you were going to build a car from stock, let's say, you weld the diff is probably like $150 if you're going to pay someone to do it.
Can anybody just weld a diff?
If you know how to weld, yeah.
So anybody who knows how to weld can just do it?
Yeah.
Okay. So
and there's a bunch of ways to do it. Like when you open up, you ever taken apart a diff or you ever seen it? Never.
So
if you ever got under your car, there's like a case, like there's the axles and there's like a little casing right there.
Right.
When you take off that cover, inside there's going to be like one huge gear.
Right.
And there's like a bunch of like little things.
Okay, maybe I've seen the inside, but have I taken it apart? No.
So inside there's usually like the big gear and the little one.
Yeah.
And there's a thing inside that spins. So what you do is you could either put a plate and weld the plate to it, or you could put like, if you want to be like a little ghetto, you could put like bolts and shit in there and you weld the bolts so it like locks it. You could weld the outer whatever they're called, the outer rings to the case itself. Pretty much to make the rings stop moving, like as long as they're together.
Right.
So it locks both wheels at the same time.
Right at the same time.
That's how you weld it. That's it. It's nothing like crazy. It's
okay. So it's something that's simply not simple, but like if you weld, you can definitely do it.
Yeah.
Right. So now you have that. Let's say if I went and bought a 350Z, $4,000, right?
Okay.
You get that. That's $150.
Okay.
Right. So that's a good deal. All right. Well, I don't know what they go for now used, but let's say if you spent, all right, let's say $6,000, get the diff welded for $150. What's next?
Coilovers.
So you need coilovers.
You don't need them. But if we're talking about like the things, all right. So if we're gonna go in order, weld the diff, seat,
Seat, just off experience,
bro.
Why
Seat.
coilovers?
Okay,
Yeah.
So suspension is the biggest thing. Alignment and suspension are the biggest things in drifting. Biggest things. Like, people no, I mean, you guys don't drift. So people always be like, I want more power. I want more power. I want more power. They always think you need more power. It's not that you want more power. You want more grip. That's all it is. Or you need to learn how to drive. Like you need like certain techniques to learn how to be closer to someone if you're going to tandem or whatever the case is.
right?
It's not the power. That's not the thing. So suspension, what it'll do is, in most drift cars, you're going to have a stiffer front suspension
Okay.
and a softer rear. Now, what that is when you have a stiffer rear, let's say you're in drift, it actually, since it's stiff in the front, it transfers the weight backwards, which
Okay.
puts more weight downwards, which gives you more bite, like grip. Now, you have a softer rear
okay.
for the same reason. When it sinks in, the weight sits on it, you have more rear grip.
Got you.
That's
okay.
a big thing. So people that just go buy like max speeding rods coilovers, have you ever seen like a $200 coilovers?
Yeah, yeah.
They don't do much. Like they're better than stock, but you're not going to get much out of them. Like you're going to have to spend at least $1,000 on a set of coilovers.
What? Any recommendations for?
A lot of people run BCs. I
BCs.
personally never ran them for drifting. That's just me, personal preference. I were also sponsored by Silver's Suspensions North America because they have like different divisions.
Yeah.
I run Silver's Neo Maxes. Fire coilover. Fire,
Okay.
bro. So good. I'd recommend that to anybody. Yeah, I like theirs because I don't know. It just felt different because I had True Hearts prior,
Yeah.
which are more of like a street coilover, like just to get low and whatnot.
Right.
And I didn't think it'd make that big of a difference. I was big into like, why would I need coilovers? Like it's just a coilover, And then I switched and I was like, holy shit, like suspension's a big thing. And then I started researching like day and night about suspension and geometry, and spring rates is a big thing too.
Spring rates, yeah.
People run like sway bars, no sway bars. It's like there's a lot that goes into it.
So the more suspension parts you have,
Mm-hmm.
the better the car drifts. Is that safe to say?
Not necessarily. It depends on how the setup is.
How the setup is.
There's certain cars like wheelbase is a big thing. 350Z specifically, like you said, has a short wheelbase.
Right.
When you have a shorter wheelbase, the car is a lot snappier when you do
That's
a
how the
transition.
Super is, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
S2000 is the other one too. Yeah.
So let's say 350Z G35, same chassis. G35 has a longer wheelbase, so when you actually slide a G35, it's versus a 350Z, it's a lot smoother of a transition. It's like floaty. It's like a smooth. 350Z, you go to transition, it's just snaps.
Do you need more experience for a 350Z or?
No, but it's just a learning curve.
Learning curve
that you need to learn. I think the harder the car is to drive, the more you learn as a driver.
Right.
If I go take someone that's an easy car, put them in a harder car, they're not going to fucking do.
Yeah.
You put someone in a, vice versa. It's a lot better.
So after that, right? You said it's not like you don't have to put so much money into your build, right? So
It's if you go that route, because everyone thinks it's like they don't. Nobody wants to spend the money on it. Obviously,
Yeah.
they're getting into it. So it's just that option. Everyone kind of likes that when I say it's not that expensive.
So the angle kits, though, I
Yeah.
always thought that was the thing you must have. Because
It's not a must-have.
The wheels
It's definitely
going
not a must-have. The benefits to it is you could drive faster. You can go with a lot more. Well, yeah, you can go a lot more speed into turns.
Right.
You could save yourself is a big thing. So instead of looping it and like spinning around, let's say if someone's standing and you're chasing them and you spin, obviously it's not a good combination.
Right,
you know?
right.
So when you have the angle kit, you can kind of save yourself from actually spinning out, which is a big thing. And then honestly, the biggest thing is speed. You want to drive faster, drive bigger tracks or whatever the case is, an angle kit. There's certain tracks that are slow, and then you have ones that are like you're entering the top of third gears, 100 miles an hour. So it's fast, bro.
100 miles an hour.
Oh, easy. Oh yeah. I actually had my first wall ride this event on Friday. Yeah, on a big bank. It was a huge bank, and top of third gear I was entering, and I was able to ride the wall, and my bumper's like perfectly shaven. Like It's like, you ever seen when plastic gets like shaven down and then it creates like a little hole because it went through? It was like that.
What?
So sick.
So
actually,
if you hit the wall, like if you do that, so like and you hit the wall, is that like a? I mean, you're not.
It's not as long as the car doesn't get like crazy disturbed, you're chilling.
Oh wow!
You see, how it's like if you look real close, you see how it's like a perfect.
Yeah.
It rubs through.
Dude, I've these videos where I see like people drift and it's just like they're so close to the wall. It's like, how do you like? Is that luck? Like how?
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of skill and a little bit of luck.
No way.
If you get real comfortable in a car, like really comfortable, and you just know how far the back end of the car is, or same thing with the front. When you tandem with someone and you do a transition, like you're like inches away when you get a really good transition. Same thing with the rear. If you're on a wall, you're kind of you are guessing at the end of it. It's not like I'm looking in my rear view seeing how close I am. You know, I'm just kind of like in there, and then like I'm looking. I'm like, that looks like I got a little bit more. You know, so you go a little bit more, whatever the case is. But it's a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill.
Interesting.
I'd say mainly skill. The luck is like how hard you hit the wall. You know, so there's a lot of factors to like control how, like where you're putting the car. You know? Like hand brakes, foot brakes. Like there's a lot of things that you could do to put it in different spots.
So I know TJ Hunt just put the he built a Supra, a Mark V Supra. He bought another one, a manual one.
Yep.
And he's drifting it. Adam LZ, they always drift together, right? Mm-hmm. How much you say like? How much you think they put into their builds? Just curious.
Including the car or?
Without the car.
Without the car. TJ Hunt's, I'm not like super up to date on it.
Well, let's say Adam LZ's.
I'm not super up to date. Which one? The rotor one?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Because I'm not a rotary guy, so I don't know. But I know I know the motor.
Not that one. That one's,
which one?
I forget. Does he have a Sylvia?
The S15?
Yeah,
the old
S15,
FD car?
S15. I think he has
the
S15.
Green one or the
is it green or is purple?
There's a green one, and then there's the old FD car that he had.
I think he had the white one.
Nah, he got mad cars, bro. Who knows?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's like the green one I did see at it was last year I saw him.
Those I don't know honestly, because he's also got like a team of people, and like the fab work is insane. Let's say TJ Hunt's car, not including the car. If I could take a guess, he's probably upwards of like. Probably like 20, 30 grand, maybe just in parts.
In the Supra?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, he's got like a car. I mean, we're talking like everything he's got on there.
Well, not aesthetics.
Just the mechanical stuff?
Just the mechanical stuff in order for him to be able to drift the car.
I think he has Wise Fab. So probably Wise Fab, we're talking front and rear. Let's say he has a rad. I mean, probably 10 Gs.
Okay,
15,
that's fair.
15.
To build a drift vehicle? Okay. That's not, but it has to be manual, right?
But like that's the thing. You kind of like, since he bought that specific car, it X's out like a lot of shit. Like
really?
The car makes a lot of power already. Like,
true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like those like little things where it's like you'd be putting that money in like a swap, let's say, or building a motor.
Yeah.
Like, it's already there. So it's kind of
He did the clutch was gone. I don't know if you saw that recently. Do you have to upgrade the clutch too in order to drift?
You don't have to. These are all things. That's what I'm saying when you say like, what does it cost to build a car? Every event you go to, you're gonna like feel something new or realize, okay, maybe I want to do this with the car. It depends on your driving style and like what you want out of the car, you know? Like there's people, we go to these events, they've been drifting for 10, 15 years and their car is like very basic setup, you know? It depends. Like if they don't want to exceed like, or I guess like go into that next level that costs more money, obviously, you know, the more you go up, the more expensive it gets. If they don't want to go to that next level and they just want a car where they could just drive with their boys and just have a good time, you don't need a lot, you know?
It's a whole different approach. It seems like than just building a car. Like
you're not
building it for looks. You're not building it for like, oh, I want these wheels. I want to spend $5,000-$6,000 on wheels.
There's people like that too.
Oh,
really?
Really?
A lot of people that are So there's people that build a drift car just because they want it to be a sick car, and they don't really care about the drifting aspect. Like not that they don't care about it, but like if they go to a skid pad and go like slide and like spin out a whole bunch of times, like they don't care because they're just sliding. Like, you know, they don't care that they're not doing good. You know, they just want to slide the car that they look sick. You know, that's really it. You know, so and also people overbuild their shit too. Like if you're new, let's say you're a new driver, some people that never hit the track, they'll go spend fucking $30,000 and all these mods and stuff, and they've never drifted before. You know, which is like, you know, nobody in the drift community is really going to be like, you shouldn't do that, blah blah blah, whatever. There's some people obviously, but like most of everybody is just like, yeah, we're sliding. It does not matter what you did, what you have, whatever. Like we're drifting. It doesn't matter.
Yo, this is a vibe. It's like a culture.
Dude, it is
legit like a culture.
Huge.
Like
and it's been around for so long. It's just getting really big lately because of like social media.
Yeah,
and stuff.
that's a thing. I have a good question for a lot.
You got
a
lot of good questions.
Yeah, well, because I don't know drifting culture.
I don't know drifting culture either.
Yeah.
We have no idea.
Honestly, this is great. I haven't talked to people about like that like don't know drifting at all. You know.
Yeah. So most people see. There's one thing about me, right? And he's just doesn't care. But like, I'll get there in a minute. But like, I'm not scared to ask questions that nobody wants to be the dumbest person in the room, and especially in the car community. No one is gonna like say like, oh, what is that? Like, they're not gonna ask basic questions. They're gonna figure it out themselves, which is cool. But a lot of people are embarrassed because they're gonna get shamed, or people always say, oh, these are stupid questions. Yep. There's no stupid questions. No, like you start somewhere. Not everybody is into drifting. Not everybody's into bags or suspensions, fitment. Like, this is just it's different. It depends on what you're going for when it comes to building your car. So I feel like your questions aren't stupid at all. But at the same time, it's like
he felt that way. That's why he said it.
No,
that's why he said
it. Because you're saying like, oh, I have a good question, or like I have no, bro. We don't know about this. So.
Yeah.
No. I'm an open book. If you guys don't know anything, like
ask. So I'm not scared. I'm not scared to ask these questions at all.
I'm not scared either.
Even the way like a welded diff works. That's a fantastic question.
I never knew that.
Nobody asked. They just go welded diff.
You don't even know.
Nobody knows how it actually works. That's like a big thing too for me. Like learning and getting more into drifting is like. Coilovers. Why am I buying coilovers? Why does it make the car better? Angle kit. Why am I buying this? Like I know it helps me.
Yeah.
But why?
Right.
And that's a good question because nobody asked it. You're right though. It's like it's true. Like
people
for me,
just say it's name drop things.
Yeah, and then they just go okay.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing. Like when I first got to drifting, everyone's like, "Yo, do this, do this, do this, do this," and I was just like, "Well, they drift and they're better than me, so like, yeah, let me do it." So like I did it, and then it got to the point where like my skill level hit a certain, I hit a certain level.
Yeah.
Where it surpassed. The knowledge of certain people, and I would ask them, and they would just be like, yeah, like whatever. They just like give me a bullshit answer when like I know you don't know. Yeah, so then it got to the point where, and I got to the point where I'm like, okay, I need to know. I need to know. So I need to do all this research and figure it out. And now I'm just that guy that like, which I'm obsessed with like research in general, like anything. I like to like over research things.
Same.
So now I know how all this stuff works, which helps me as a driver.
Yeah.
Helps me with my car builds itself, all that stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm the same exact way. And my girl knows I researched F at anything. Like if I need to find something out, I need to know why it started, why I'm putting this in my car, because a lot of people, like I said, the name drop thing, they'll be like, oh, I heard you, like even oil. We were talking about the other day.
Oh, bro.
I was like, not to bash anybody, because honestly, I don't really know either, but like the numbers and the weight of oil, like people throw that shit around all the time, and it's like, well, do you know what it means? Like, or are you just saying that because your mechanic told you to put it in your car?
Yep.
But do you know like what the numbers mean?
In drifting, it was a big thing, and I had to learn that too.
So most people don't even know that, because it's something that's so common that people think that like that they're scared to ask basic questions. Yeah. Like you can look it up, you can find it on the internet, but they're not going to ask somebody because they don't want to feel stupid. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's so many things.
I think it's also
cars.
Just people.
Yeah, people
like to be like assholes when they know, and then someone else doesn't know.
Right, but like you said, when you go to people who you feel would know something, that's like basic information, and they don't know, they're like, oh, they give you some bullshit answer, and it's like, it's like, dude,
it's like, just say you don't know.
You could just say you don't know,
or like let's figure it out together.
Yeah,
like I'm that type of person. If I don't know, I'm like, I don't know. Let's find out.
Let's find out. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's part of like growing as a person and being humble too.
And for anybody that's watching, the first number of oil is for cold temperature, and the second number is for hot. Just letting everyone know that.
Wait, so you went through that in the drift world too, like you said?
Yeah. Because all right, so in drifting, your oil gets hot. You're beating the shit out of a car. Yeah. So you go hot lap it, meaning like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 laps in a row. You just keep going. Your oil gets hot.
Right.
Now, why is that bad? Is that if it gets hot enough, it thins out.
Right. Yeah.
And when it thins out, it'll creep past certain areas. And my car specifically, I would drive it a couple laps, and then I'd be at the grid where it's like you start to go to drift or whatever. I'd floor it, and there would be a smoke show behind me.
Damn.
And everyone's like, yo, why'd your car do that? Whatever. I think something's broken. And I'm just like, yo, why is it doing that? I was like, the car drove perfectly fine. I was like, why is it doing that? And then I found out my oil was like normal for like normal driving, and it was getting too hot, and it was thinning out, and it was causing that. Yeah. I run diesel oil like in my drift car.
Well, like Rotel or something?
Yeah. No, like straight up. Like the weight of it is literally diesel stuff.
Really?
Yeah. It's like they run like 0.60 or like 0.70. It's literally like honey. Like when you pour it out, it's like it doesn't even pour like liquid. It's like fucking sap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn, it makes sense. If you're doing laps, you gotta have.
Yeah. Well, think about it. Like my operating temperature is not like warm. My operating temperature is like fucking hot. You know what I'm saying? So it's,
yeah.
You know, you're not gonna run normal oil in that.
That makes sense. That makes sense. You had a question?
Yeah, I have a good questions. For all the people that doesn't know, especially me, about drift events, how do you actually win from a drift event? Like, do they have different?
Okay, that's a good question.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that is a good question.
Because when I watch like this drift events and stuff like that,
yeah, you
like,
see it and you're just like,
I see it like,
what's happening?
Yeah,
it just looks
like,
the same on all of them,
bro. Like they have this time and this and that. I'm like, dude, and then not even that, you have to be close to the wall. Whatever.
Zones,
I don't know.
I don't even.
So let's say you have a normal track. Let's say it's like a corner, like a sweeper, let's say a U-turn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A big U-turn. If let's talk about the track. So if you have a U-turn, there's going to be a zone called outer or inner zone. Outer zone is obviously the outside of the turn. Inner zone would be the inside of it. So meaning if you have an outside zone, you put your rear tire in that zone, in like a box, usually like a box.
Okay.
And if it's a inner zone, you put your front tires usually. There's usually no such thing as really as an inner zone, but like it'll be an inner clip, they call it.
Okay.
So inner clip would be like, let's say it's like an S turn. Let's say it's outside, and then let's say this S section right here, the front of your car would be like you just aim it towards that section. It's usually like a cone or like a pole or something.
Right.
And it's just more of like a guide. But the outer zones are literally like a rectangle that goes along it. And then you want your tire just as deep as possible in that. Then you have touch and goes, which is like as you transition, it's just like a quick like you literally touch and go. Like you put the car in that spot and then leave.
Yeah.
And now in terms of drivers, you have lead and chase driver. A lead driver's whole goal is to drive the track in every zone as deep and perfectly as possible.
Okay.
The chase driver is supposed to, it depends on the judges, honestly, but the chase driver, for the most part, is supposed to mimic exactly what the lead driver does with the most proximity possible. Usually.
What if you like touch?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to.
Disqualified.
It depends. If it's like a little love tap, it's fine. But if you hit somebody, like, no, you're not supposed to hit somebody. Pretty much, if you disturb the other person's car, no bueno.
So how do you? So if you're the so you have lead and what's the second
Chase.
one? Chase driver. Sorry. How do you like do this through all that smoke?
Yeah.
You can.
Because like I'm like, how the
you
hell
can
do you see anything?
I mean, I'm not at the level where I'm driving with cars that make that much power where it's like I literally cannot see in the smoke.
Yeah.
But there's definitely moments where I'm driving with someone and it's like I'm like, oh shit, like you're there. I know you're there. You know.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Yeah, a lot of it has to come down to just honestly, it's called tandem driving. You know, two of them. A lot of it comes down to trust. It's just straight trust in whoever that other person is, whether they're chasing you or leading or whatever the case is. You need to trust that they're going to do what they're supposed to do.
Okay.
You know, why do people crash? Someone's doing not what they're supposed to do. That's straight up what it is. You know, I had a crash this weekend.
Oh, really?
The same thing. Yeah, but I was drifting with someone he's actually from the island. He was doing what he thought was right. I was trying to anticipate what he was going to do. We've never drifted before, so it's hard. You're supposed to kind of feel out how someone drives. Everyone has different driving technique too. That's another thing.
So it's a duo thing?
Yeah, it's two drivers. So he was leading, I was chasing. There was this turn. So this track that we're at, pretty much is a 2-lap track. So the first lap you run it a certain way because you have to link it.
Yeah.
On the second lap, on the end of the turn, so think of like the letter B, like it went like this.
Right.
And at the second lap, when you're about to exit, instead of going back to do another lap, you make a left. But in order to link this turn correctly to do that left, you have to take a different line.
Oh,
Okay, so first lap is one line, second lap is a different line. So if you're a new driver, I'm going to think that you're going to take a different line.
Yeah.
He didn't. Which is not on it's not on him because like at the end of the day, I'm chasing him. I should be more cautious. I don't know what he's going to do. I should learn him, see how he drives, figure it out. I was just kind of hyped. It was like, it's called night stage. So it's like everyone's got their lights on, bro. I got my chasing lights on my interior. Everyone's like going crazy. It's nighttime. Everyone's hyped. So I was like, yeah, I'm just going to door this guy. I was like, I'm going to get on him. So when I went to go on him, he was taking a different line. So he was going like inside, let's say, and I was aiming out here. So when I went, I checked up and I hit the back of his car.
Damn. He spun
and
out?
When he spun like this, my car kept going the same direction. And I was trying to slow down and like brake or whatever, but it was just, we were too close already.
Yeah.
and then I hit the front of his car, and then I kind of like went up it a bit. His car was good. My car's good. So, but it happens, and all those crashes happen because you just don't really anticipate what the other person's gonna do, or you're doing something wrong. That's all it is, you know.
Yo, I definitely like. I might have to like.
Yo, come to an event.
My girl's like, what? You gonna do what?
Come to an event and just see what it's about. See if it's something you're interested in. I'll be straight with you. I've been in the car scene for quite some time now. I've done a lot of different builds. I've done all the car shows, car meets, no takeovers, all this different stuff. And this is it for me.
Yeah, really? I feel like
this is it. I wish I did this earlier.
Yeah, I feel
all the money I've spent and everything. I wish.
Yeah, I feel like with me, I experienced all the car scene and stuff like that. Especially like when I started with like my Kia Stinger. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't know anything about having a car and stuff like that. And when I have my Supra, and I start going to like steak takeovers and like going to street racing and stuff like this, and going to car events and stuff like that. Now I notice like, holy shit, like I'm like the car guy now, and like now I want to get into like more like the
motorsport.
Yeah. So like it will teach me how to like be the best driver or whatever.
Yeah.
And I
think like, you'd be really good, bro.
Yeah, I feel
like you like if you.
I think I'm naturally.
I'll tell you right now,
like you'd be really good.
Anybody
in the DNA,
if you don't have fear of crashing the car, you're gonna be good.
Oh,
that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
We have our friend, my friend Andrew. We're all drifting. Well, all right. So my friend group, sometimes we get to like these phases where like we do something, go all out, and then like we don't do it ever again.
Andrew, who does he have?
Andrew Strapone. I don't know if you've ever seen him.
Nah.
I built a Mustang for him like 2018, I think it was, or 2019.
Yeah.
He had like a G35. He got a good job. He was like, yo, I want a car. Like I want a new car. I want it to be sick. He bought a 2018 Mustang, the new body style that came out. He bought it, brand new. He was like, yo, we're doing wide body, bags, wheels, wrap, wing, all this stuff. He dumped mad money into the car. Obviously, like I've been wrapping his cars for a long time. I built the whole car for him. Car was absolutely gorgeous. He blew the motor. He still has the car. I think the car has like 6,000 miles on it. Yeah.
Oh, is that the car you were wrapping?
Possibly.
The red one?
That's a hard question.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like he's
so
many cars.
So he hasn't had a fun car in a long time. And I told him, I'm like, yo, listen, we've been drifting. I've been drifting only for a year now. Our other friend's been 2 years. We have other friends that have been drifting for 5-6 years now. I was like, yo, we're going to be doing this. I was like, I'll tell you right now, this is not a phase. I'm going to be doing this for a long time. I was like, you should get a car. It's the most fun I've ever had in a car. I'm telling you. We found a car for him. We did a clinic, which is a drift event for beginners. Yeah. So it's like a little more money, but you kind of get like people that are sitting, like the staff is like teaching you. They're telling you, oh, listen, do this, do that, whatever. So we went to a clinic, and he has no fear of anything. Like he just does not care. He was nasty out the gate. Like first lap, I'm like, dude. I told him, I was like, yo, you're gonna be good. Like I was like, yo, by next year, we're gonna be competing like 100%. Like this guy's, he's good.
Really?
He's good. Car's set up though. That's another thing too. The car's fully set up. So like that's a little bit of a cheat code right there, but it's not even the car. Like it's just, you could tell by his driving style. He's driving like a veteran driver. He's driving like he's like the amount of commitment that's there. It's like, that's it.
Really?
Yeah. But he also doesn't care. He doesn't care if he crashes the car. He could wreck the entire thing. He does not care.
Yeah, it's definitely, you got to be fearless with that stuff. Yeah, for sure.
But once you have a hit, you're good usually. Just one. It's one like, and you're like, it's
like if you fall off a motorcycle or something, right?
It's a little worse. I mean, I've done that. You ever done that?
I fell off of
really?
Actually, no, I haven't.
Well, on a bicycle, yeah.
That was another thing before drifting. I was trying to get into more like I'm a big like extreme sport kind of guy. Like when I was younger, I did BMX, like competed and everything. It was sick. And I've always been an extreme sport kind of guy. So before drifting, I got into like trying to stunt. I was doing like wheelies and stuff. And when I started getting like really good, I got a little like too cocky with it, and I fell at like 40 or 50 miles an hour, dude. And I have like road rash.
Fuck?
Yeah, my whole back half of my leg.
Damn,
and at that moment, I was like, this is probably not something I should be doing. So I sold the bike, and that's actually what started all my. That's how I have this car and my M3.
Really?
The drift car, yeah. It's because of that. Because I fell on my motorcycle.
Damn, son.
That started a full train of flipping stuff. But
wow. So is there any? So what's the best way to like let's say if I want to practice, like where can I go? What can I do?
That's hard because anything I tell you would be illegal. Straight up, I'll be straight with you.
I really want to like practice, but I don't even have a car to practice in. But
you can practice in this car, and you can do it in this car. But do I think it's a waste of time? For the most part, yeah. Like it'd be better off if you have, especially when you have a car that's meant to do that thing.
Right.
That's another thing. A lot of people get cars and they're like, I want to street drive it. I want to go out, whatever. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's fine. But like, if you have a car that's dedicated to drift, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
When you wreck that car and it starts looking real shitty. Like my car looks horrendous right now, like real bad, dude. It's horrible. But you get a car that's meant to do that. Like I drop the car off in the trailer or whatever at my shop, and I'm like, all right. I don't care. That just leaves my mind. I don't care that it looks shitty. You know, think about it. Let's say you slide into a curb.
Nah, chill.
Even if you kiss a curb or whatever, and your car gets a little bit of a boo-boo.
Bro, it's not for that. It's not set up for that.
That's what I'm saying. It's game over though, and your heart is shattered, and you probably never drift again.
Yeah, nah, definitely not.
Then again, you're drifting a $2,000, $3,000 car versus a whatever $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 car.
Yeah.
Well, how often do you drift though?
Yeah, how often are you doing?
Me personally,
Yeah.
as much as I can.
So every weekend?
What I can afford. What I can afford. It's what you can afford. For
tires and stuff, right? And repairs and maintenance, oil too, right? You got how often you got to do oil changes too?
Every 2 events. Yeah. I could break it down for you. What a weekend costs, all of it, if you want. It's not too bad.
We'll do that another.
Yeah, it's. Is it affordable for an average job or like what someone would normally make? Not really. Like if you want to do it often, no, you can't. Unfortunately, you can't. If it's something where you can swing, if you want to go like the cheapest route possible, let's say you buy the car, whatever, just the weekend itself, let's say a 2-day event, you're going to need at least on a minimum like $400 or $500 for that weekend.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
We're talking the bare minimum.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Okay, so I'll tell you. All right, so this is what we usually spend. We'll break it down real quick. So let's say you have the driver's tickets, a 2-day event. Usually, if we're gonna go to like the cheapest track, which is Evergreen in Drums, Pennsylvania, it's $75 a day, which is the cheapest.
So it's
$150 for the 2 days. Most tracks are $150 for 1 day, just so you know. So that's $150, depending on what kind of vehicle you have. In terms of towing, let's call it $200 in gas.
Okay.
So you're $250.
Okay.
$350. You have a stay. If we had to do Airbnb, let's say it's a whole group of people, let's call it $100. Usually cheaper, let's call it $100. So you have $450. Tires, if you're gonna buy them new, which I would definitely suggest. Let's say you get a full set, 4 pairs. Let's call it $540. So whatever that is, I can't math. What was it? $540, $450? Plus 450. Yeah, 990 or 9.
Well, 150 and 250 is
990. So that's 990. We're talking about fuel for your car, which you may run out of depending. Call that $50 or what was it? So call it $60. So now we're at $1050. Food, drinks if you want to drink. Let's call it $1,200-$1,300
for a weekend.
For a weekend, there's other. You can lower the cost the more people you get, and like you do it smarter. Like last year we were, dude. Last year was like $1,500 a weekend, bro. Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. You're not doing this every weekend, though. You're not doing this every weekend. You're not doing this every weekend.
I'd rather go to the club. Like, what we doing?
No, you trust me. Nah.
We trying to go to Bayshore? What we doing? about to get a section at the local hookah lounge.
But if you could be smart with it, you can get away with like $1,000 a weekend.
But
for 2 days.
It sounds fun though, because then you actually experience like the drift.
Yeah, you with your boys.
Yeah,
this is what I see too. This is what really caught my like attention with drifting. How much money is into your car?
Into my car?
Rough. Give me a real quick ballpark number.
What do you mean, like?
How much money you put into it?
How much money I put into it?
Ballpark,
most
quick.
of it was sponsored, but I'll say like.
Of your own money.
All right, probably like $3,000.
Okay, you?
Rough. Maybe like 5.
Okay, so 3 to 5K. All right, 6K, whatever it is, in that range. How much of those mods do you feel like you truly get the most out of? Do you feel like you really get the most out of that money?
Oh, none.
It's different for me though, because it's hard to say that for me.
The car. You drive the car and you go, I'm getting my money's worth out of these mods. I feel like I'm using all of these mods, all the dollars, all the mod, whatever part. Do you feel like you get all of it out of that?
Okay, I see what you're saying. So like the seats, probably not, because like they're just for looks. The steering wheel, probably
just for looks.
Yeah.
Wheels, just for looks.
Wheels, tires,
wrap, just for looks.
Yeah, just for looks. No, the tires for sure, but I'm not. For me, what I'm doing, I don't really use them for what they're. Now, the tires are probably the only thing that I could say like, yo, these are.
Like you're using them, yeah, because of grip.
Right.
Okay.
That's the only thing I feel like, yeah.
Now you go spend that money on a drift car, you're using every penny. You feel it every time you drive the car. All of it. Like that's what I like about it. I toss $1,000 at the car. Yeah. Coilovers, let's call it. I feel like I'm getting every single penny worth of those coilovers. Every time I use it, every time I drift the car, all of it. Dampening. You guys got dampening? You guys have suspension, right?
I have a sleeve. I have sleeves.
Okay. Do you have coils or anything on that? Okay. You ever had coilovers before?
Did I ever have coilovers before?
Do you have electronic dampening by any chance in that car?
Yeah.
Okay, electronic dampening. You click the button, right?
No. So in this, it's like the BMW sport mode, like comfort.
Yes,
mode.
but the same thing. It's electronic dampening. Do you feel the difference? Do you feel like you use all that?
Nah.
Okay, drift car.
I actually like sport mode better.
Drift car coilovers. You turn the dial that's on the top of the coilover, one click, you could feel that in a drift car.
What the fuck?
I mean, that's what they're made for. That's what I'm saying.
Now, you have 30 of those adjustments usually, just so you understand.
Yeah.
Like, that to me, that $1,000, it's worth so much money that I'm like, yo, this is so worth the money I'm putting into it. Like, the return. That's what it is. It's just a return of it. The exchange is so good, like the risk. I mean, the reward from like whatever you spend, I think is so good.
I think that has a lot to do with mentality, though, because if you think about it, these car parts were actually designed to be functional, but because of how people put them on their cars because it's the hottest thing out, or because they want their car to be lower, they want to spend the most money to win car shows and have the best suspension, but not actually use them for what they. For what they're actually
made for. Yeah.
Yeah. So
all the actual R&D that goes into it.
Exactly.
Is literally for this.
Exactly. So you're spending, a couple $1,000s on coilovers that actually are for race cars, but you want them on your car because you just want to say you have KWs or whatever it is. It's like, well, they're actually made for actual, race cars if you're actually using them. So I definitely understand what you're saying because you're actually driving your car. You're not just.
But when you do it, it's the biggest thing.
And right.
Like that's like that, to me, that was like my Mustang, dude. Like that. The amount of looks every time I do a different look on that car, which I've done a lot, it usually costs me about like $7,000 to like redo everything and whatever. And like every time I think back at it, and I'm just like why? Like I didn't get anything, and I peel it, bro. I redo the look every couple of years, every year, and like it blows my mind like the money that's just been like gone. Like it's just a memory on Instagram. Literally, it's just that's all it is.
Yeah, you're really changing my mindset on this. It's interesting. I mean, like I said, the car is for a different reason. It was to make content. My initial reason for this whole build was for that purpose. But if I was like driving the car, if I was in the streets racing or whatever it was, 100%, I would definitely want the best, suspension and the best parts on my car because I definitely want to get most use out of it.
So that was a big thing for me too, because like obviously, we build our cars for content.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, content recognition, whatever the case is, exposure. Drifting was a big thing. That's why Spoiler King, I partnered up with them because I told them, I was like, I don't care about the money. I don't care about selling product to get kickback or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I want to partner with you because I want to make media, bro. I want to make content. Like it's my friend Kyle works at a company that's neighboring to them and it's the same owner or whatever. And he does media. Kyle's a media. Oh, you know Kyle Climaco?
What's his Instagram name?
Climaco Media or Kyle Climaco? You know Kyle? He has a Subaru. He used to have a Subaru. It was like a fighter jet. Like it was like green looking.
Maybe. I got to see.
Okay. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. But he's a good friend of mine. He does media. And he works at this company and he doesn't really work on the Spoiler King side.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a win-win for everyone. I was like, yo, I want media. And I told the owner, I was like, I want him to be the media guy. I want him to come with me, come to these events, and be the guy.
Yeah.
Like, I want him to follow me, get in the car, get different angles, whatever it is. And I get media. Your name is plastered all over this shit when I post it. You get to use it free range because it is your content at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just the driver. And that's how it works. And that's a big thing because I feel like you can make so much cool content with drifting.
No,
where like a
hell
car,
yeah, bro.
which obviously you can make a lot with a car, but like I feel like you're kind of limited.
It's different.
You're limited though with
Yeah.
what you can do. At the end of the day, your car is either standing still or moving. It's never really doing anything like crazy.
It's never doing anything. Yeah, it's not functioning.
You know?
I agree. I would love, bro. I would love to see my car like. Well, I can't film my own car drifting, but like that'd be dope.
You could.
Like just to see my car actually
drive.
doing that. No, seriously.
No,
like,
but it's sick.
Yeah,
though.
because I usually just park up, or I have somebody else drive the car and roll up and park for videos.
or even
but,
just
like,
a roller or whatever you have someone drive, or
Yeah,
whatever the case
roller.
is. But
But
like you
drifting?
can think about the opportunities you have as a content creator. You can reach out to companies and get a venue or a private rental at a place, and you can sit there and make content, whatever you want to do. Like, yo, I want to hit this one turn. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me go do that from 5 different angles because you can. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're drifting and you're with all your boys or whatever, I could be driving your car. It doesn't matter. We all do the same thing, and it's not like, you know, you're scared to have someone drive this car and go slide it on the street. You know, just to get a clip.
Interesting.
Yo, I could see your smoke's coming out your ears. Ears are turning. I'm sorry.
No,
I don't
because
mean
like
to.
it's so true. It's like
I'm sorry.
like I'm missing out on so much, for sure. I can't hear you, babe.
It'll make you go broke, though. I'll be straight with you. That's it.
Yeah.
No, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Listen, if you're smart with it, it's like anything in life.
Yeah.
The moderation of it is as long as you do that. But you know what it is? I'll tell you another thing too. I've never made so much money in my life. Once I got into drifting, I was like I felt pretty good with myself. I was like, okay, I feel like I enjoy the life I live. I can buy the things I want to buy, whatever the case is. And when I started drifting, I was like, yo, I don't make enough. I was like, I need to do more. Like, I have to do more because this is something I'm going to do even if I worked a normal job at minimum wage or whatever it was. I was like, I'm going to do this. So it made me explode into like business mindset. Like where I was already at, I was just like 100 times more.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need more avenues of money. And then it got to the point where I'm like, I don't need more avenues of money to work for. I don't need to work for it. I need more passive income. You know, and then it makes you become this whole different person, and your whole being is just like an entrepreneur, like a true entrepreneur, not just a business owner, like someone that's like has their hands in everything and it's all passive.
Yeah.
You know, I want to go across the country, bro. I want to go travel to Japan and go drift Ebisu, which is like where drifting started.
Right.
Yeah.
People do that. They go buy a car. Like one of my boys, he went out there. He bought a car just to drift there in Japan and left the car, bro.
Oh, drifting, man, that's crazy.
Like
that's crazy.
that's what I'm like. That's what I want to do. Like, and he goes out there, bought the car, whatever, and he works from laptop, whatever, emails, sends out whatever he's got to send out, and like it's inspiring. That's another thing too. Like that a lot of people don't realize. FD drivers. FD. So you see all these people that are FD. So like you follow FD at all, or so you know Adam LZ obviously. Adam Chelsea, don't know if you've ever seen him. He's the guy with the RTR. You ever seen the RTR Mustangs? Shit, no. Man. Okay, there's a lot of FD drivers. Only a handful of them are actually like sponsored, get paid to drift or whatever. All the other ones, they're just rich.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
I had this conversation earlier too. All these people, like, where are they getting money from?
They
like,
own
all these big elite
crazy
builds,
businesses, bro.
All these guys who have these Lambo create like the fastest Lambos in the world. Like what? Like where's this money coming from? Like.
I can answer all
day.
those questions, bro.
I'll get that one day.
Yeah.
No, but it's like
it's not even that, dude. It's just elevating your mindset to a different level. Like you got to think outside the box, and like the reason I don't want to get too deep in this because it'd be a little bit business.
No, we can have this
podcast.
conversation offline.
Yeah. But
I'm curious now.
but with drifting, it makes you demand for more out of life, bro. That's all it is. Like it, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get my streams of income up.
Yeah.
Post them videos.
Nah, videos ain't gonna do nothing.
It's gonna go somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not even the practice, the feeling of just the event. I don't know. Just imagine the best car show you ever been to. Okay? Or best car show or car meet.
First class fitment.
Okay, imagine that and literally multiply it by 100. That's what going out for drift weekends feels like. And like I don't even need to know. Like obviously we're not that close.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. But like we're close enough to where like I can tell you right now because you have those cars. You guys are into cars. This is gonna be like.
Bro, take me with
amazing.
you, bro.
I told you July.
You ever seen RobiWorks? Is that it's a YouTube channel? I think it's called RobiWorks.
Maybe if I saw it.
They do the crazy ass like drifting videos and like they do like cinematic drifting videos.
Okay.
There's like one famous video with the BMW drifting through the cargo.
Yes, I have seen that.
So yeah, so they have videos on there of this big drift event, and I forgot what country it was, but it's like a party. It's like I don't know if it was Brazil or something, or I don't know where it was.
UK
but like,
gets down, bro. UK, by the way.
UK?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah, their car shows have drift events like together.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yep, like almost all of them. It's
fire.
fucking sick. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've seen videos, and I thought it was just all cinematics, but I guess it's basically.
No, bro,
just like,
they're events like.
no, it was like parties. It was like they were like.
Yeah.
It was like Brooklyn Mirage. Like think about Brooklyn Mirage, but like a drift event also.
That nice though.
Damn.
No, it was like no, it was legit, man. I was like, yo,
It's
this
like
is
something like.
there's no
Tokyo
way they
Drift.
staged that because it
Like
was
a
like they were
Nah,
actually.
yeah,
at
they're
it.
chilling. It depends on the venues and where these events are, but like there's definitely. I mean, imagine us three.
Yeah.
Let's say you have 5-6 groups of 5 people, and then we all go hang out at a drift event. We all like plan this, and we're like, yo, we're gonna go out here, drift, chill, party. Just imagine what that vibe is. It's the same thing. Like if you're gonna go out to the club, it's the same thing. Think about it. If you go out to the club, it's a group of 10 of us, right, or whatever it is, guys, girls, whatever. Everyone else is at the same place, is on the same vibe, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
You're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be amazing. That's just how it goes.
Damn. So where are we going?
July. End of
July
July.
29th.
I mean, there's one earlier, but it's deep. Like if you guys want to like try this out and see if it's something you like,
Yeah.
Wall Stadium.
Now I want to go to like
Yeah,
those-
you know the tween.
Anton, yeah.
Anton, yeah, he was telling me that he does they do some stuff local though, apparently.
Yeah.
He's got So he said
Yeah.
if I want to go, he'll let me know. Or no, he said let him know if I want to go.
I'll hit you up next time we go.
He's mad cool. We speak every now and then.
Yeah. Anton's a good guy.
But I was like,
him too, same thing.
yeah.
He wants to get into drifting, and now he's a nut now. He went to one event and it's like game over.
Maybe this is not a good idea. They shouldn't probably.
Bro, he's got the itch. He's got the itch.
I have an
real
addictive
bad.
personality when I'm into something, so yeah.
Yeah, same here. I'm obsessive. To be straightforward with it. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, I think we're at like 2 hours on this thing. This is the longest one, but it was a great conversation.
Yeah.
Like, I learned a lot.
Even though we didn't know much.
Yeah, no,
even
this
though we
is
don't
dope.
know
That was
much, we
It's drifting, dog. That's I can talk about this. That's why I said when I was like, I could talk about this all day.
Well, it was a lot of rap and
Yeah.
drifting also because I know a little bit about rap, not installing, but through experience with my car.
Yeah.
And then drifting, I have no clue. And that question when you asked at events, how do they judge that? I never I'm like, how the hell? You know what I'm saying? And then somebody tried to explain it to me before, but then it was like one of those things like you ask somebody and like, yeah. It's like, nah,
they get
bro,
close.
you don't even know.
Whoever's closest.
Yeah, whoever's closest. You gotta stay close to the car and like it's hard to explain. Oh, okay. And then
Yeah.
you just literally explained it in like 2 seconds.
Yep.
So not 2 seconds, maybe like a minute. But
I mean,
no.
all these things I'm explaining to you. That's the crazy part. Like, if you did get into this,
Yeah.
I'm explaining to you like the bare minimum.
But do you have
absolute bare minimum
did you do
about
research
everything.
on your own though for that?
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So like,
Hell yeah.
people just go to events and learn how to do things because they see somebody else doing it, but they don't actually learn the fundamentals. They don't actually learn terminology for things. You know.
I think the biggest thing is just the people that ask and then just like, they don't care to like learn.
Actually learn.
They're just like, oh, you tell me what it is. That's what it is. You know.
Which is cool.
No, it's just fine. It is
which
fine.
is perfectly fine.
But
It is fun.
you know what's really crazy? He has a fast Mustang, right? And he has like what 1,200 horsepower,
It was
whatever.
like 1,000.
Yeah,
That makes 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
The Mustang.
Yeah.
yeah, and for him to have a fast car, right? And for him to be enjoying more into drifting, it's kind of crazy. Cause I'm into going fast and stuff like that, but like now I'm actually more interested in going to drifting.
I can explain drifting to you. The feeling of it. You know when you're in your car and you're racing someone.
Yeah.
let's say you win. Let's say you're racing someone, you win. You know that amount of time from like the race starting to finishing.
Yeah.
That feeling in between, that's like euphoric. That is the entire drifting process. Like as you start to drift for like the whole lap, that feeling does not end throughout.
Damn.
That's what it feels like. That's the only way, because you can't describe that feeling. It's very hard to, but that's what it is. The entire time. I don't know
if I like that feeling though.
Huh?
I don't know if I like that feeling.
I would like that feeling.
I don't know how to explain it. It's not something you can put into words.
Yeah,
but
pause.
Hey, yo.
Yeah. No, I have to try it out for sure, and definitely get the experience out there. It's like a party outside.
You should definitely come to the July one. It's an hour and a half away. We're there for 2 days too. It's a Saturday, Sunday, I think it is.
You guys party out there too?
I never camped here.
Oh, okay.
I never camped at that one, so I don't really know. But it's a good time during the day. It's a good intro. You want to come out and party? We'll go to like the one in Pennsylvania.
Hell yeah.
That's like straight up like we're just partying. Yeah, like once the drifting ends, like the last lap is done, it's like everyone's all lights camping and everyone's just getting drunk and riding pit bikes and shit.
Let's do it.
It's cool.
That's a vibe. All right, well, tell them where to find you. Instagram, whatever.
In Long Island. My Instagram is SRG Killerby. My business page, Empire Vinyl Co. So you can find me there.
Dope.
Calvin Ibanez is my YouTube, which I haven't posted in a long time.
Oh, you have a YouTube?
I do. Yeah, I was like on it for like a couple of days.
What are you posting there? Vlogs and stuff?
Yeah, just vlogs, some builds. The last build I had was like during COVID. I had an M3 that I did up to match.
Oh, I do remember that.
To match this car.
Yeah.
And then I sold it right before I finished it. So I was like, yeah. But
that was around the time when I came to your shop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that. Dope. Well, guys, definitely check out his content. Definitely check out his channel. And hopefully me and Josh end up at a drift event. Hopefully.
We'll revisit this. We should revisit this, honestly.
No, yeah. No, there's no. So
we should get like your first drift event.
Yeah.
You know, we'll touch base on that. And then like when you guys get drift cars and then, you know, so on and so forth.
Oh, hell yeah. You'll see me.
He's down. You're still like.
No, I'm definitely down. It's just
you'll see me in the.
I'm picky. So I'm very picky, and I'm one of those guys that you were mentioning.
What,
huh?
Picky like in.
Like what kind of car I would want to drift in?
See.
You'll see me in the 86.
Like not saying not look wise, not look wise. I'm not saying I have to have the best car, but like I don't know. I feel like a car has to represent me. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
It's not like I'm looking for the best car, like what's gonna do the best in turn. Like no, it's more about like what car would represent me. Like I feel like a 350Z would be nice, but like I don't feel like I could see myself drifting in that car.
Okay.
Maybe more of a BMW guy. I'm not really sure.
Out of your head, get that out of your head, because you'll never get into drifting. Number one. Well, maybe you don't want to. If you're that picky, you're never gonna get into it because you're never gonna find the right car for you.
Yeah.
It's one of those Band-Aid off, bro. Just rip it. Get a car, try it, see if you like it, and I'll help you guys. Like I'm not gonna be like, yo, just go buy a drift car and just be like, all right, tell me when you get one. I'll help. If you guys are ready, you guys say, hey, I got $3,000. I'll go, okay, let's find a car, and I'll sit there and I'm in all the forums and everything. Remember, I flip cars. Oh, I used to flip cars a lot, so I find deals.
86 though.
That's way too much money.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Wait, no, not the new one. I'm talking about like the other ones.
It's like buying a 240. You're gonna spend $10,000 on a 240.
I'm good.
No.
I'm good.
You know?
I'll probably get a Scion XB or something.
Cause I hate. I don't want.
It's fire.
I don't want to have like.
He said it's fire. It's front wheel drive.
I just don't want to have like a Nissan or Infinity.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not a Nissan guy.
I'm
at all.
I'm not really a Nissan.
I'm really not a Nissan guy.
If this makes you feel any better,
I'll probably get like
think the G35.
I think a BMW too.
The G35 was the best car I've ever drifted and so far.
Well, okay, so Nissan
Feeling-wise.
Infinity. I would take that over a Nissan.
Well, I'll take that.
You're out of your mind.
Actually, yeah, we could take this. You should let me drift this car first.
I tried. That's why my diff blew up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw my boy, and I was like, let me do a little
Yo,
something.
we didn't even talk about this car because
that car is so
Oh, we were
fucking-
supposed to?
It's no. I mean, I was gonna ask you about it, but like, I'm sure like if he has a LS swapped. Damn, I had a question about that too, but it's all right. We're at like 2 hours here, right?
Yeah.
We're at 2 hours. Yeah, it's a long podcast. But you know what? There's no one-offs.
What's the normal?
An hour.
Oh shit!
Yeah. This is the first one that went up. Well, this is not. We usually do like an hour and a half.
And we're cutting it because I feel like we could keep going realistically.
Yeah. But there's, like I said, there's no one-offs. We can have more conversations.
Yeah, of
podcast
course.
doesn't have to be like just like one person every single time. We can revisit different conversations. So if they want to, watch or listen to the drifting and the vinyl rap portion of it, then that's just this episode. But we can also come back and talk about other stuff too. So, but it was definitely a great podcast episode for sure.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. It was
definitely
sick.
enjoyed it. I learned a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what this is about. It's not really about just being car guys and just talking about car shit. Like, like, what'd you eat for lunch today at the shop? Nobody cares. Like, it's more about educating people and people who are scared to ask those questions.
Yeah.
That people don't really ask. You know what I'm saying?
You're a good guy. This guy's a good guy.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
You're
so
right.
yeah, I'm just trying to help other people out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm putting myself on the line to ask those questions to people who are too scared to. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So well, that concludes the episode. Make sure you guys listen on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, and we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Peace.